Yeah,
it's not even comp.
That's what I mean.
You're
Though.
not even so comp.
Especially now turning pro.
Yeah.
Guys, this is my low calorie breakfast meal. But it's like, people know I eat that. That like they get that. Did you not see me on stage? Of course I'm fucking eating a low calorie meal. There was a coach that I inquired with, who actually wouldn't take me. But I also feel like when you're pursuing something that you're extremely passionate about, along comes a lot of challenges and a lot of adversity. I remind myself that I'm being handed this because I'm capable of taking it and handling it, no one else.
Do you think men should stop doing hip thrust?
Fuck no.
All right.
Do you want
know.
a
Looks very feminine to me. Yeah,
I'm so sorry, but if you're not hip thrusting, then I can guarantee you ain't hip thrusting in the bedroom. So
It's first or nothing. Well, that's what, 11 divisions, or is it 12 divisions? Undefeated. Beating yourself will always be your biggest fight. Dance like you left school in year 8. Raves a must when prep and post-prep retirement. Don't judge a hot pink apartment until you also go out and wear hot pink. Mental health, mindset, front and center. She'll stage walk herself into a courtroom soon. Please help me welcome ICN Pro, IFBB Queensland New South Wales State Champion, IFBB Season B 2024 Australian Bikini National Champion Pro, Phillipa, I'm going to say Ferrari, but let's say Ferreira.
that's the one.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. That was quite a mouthful there. It's amazing. Lucky I do a little bit of prepping with you guys before I start. Well, here we are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a Socrates quote. Socrates was a very famous philosopher, okay? And me and you are going to dissect it and think, what does it mean?
Okay.
So, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. What does that mean?
Ignorance is bliss.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I do. I spoke about that in my last podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I actually did say that.
Jesus Christ, it's not original then. What do you mean by that? I think there's a fine line between ignorance. That's what I think.
I do.
Because, because ignorance is bliss, and I've seen it. And I was talking to my girlfriend this week that sometimes I do wish I drove around in a pink convertible with poodles, tan to the max, listening to the Barbie song, and that's my life, and I'm happy. Little do I care about walls, little do I care about money, because I'm happy, and isn't life to be happy? And that's kind of ignorant in a way, because you're happy in yourself. But somehow I don't know if I can do that. You?
I think to a degree, ignorance is bliss. I spoke about ignorance being bliss in regards to the first time I stepped on the IFBB stage, because I didn't know the world, I didn't have expectations, I didn't have standards or pressure, and in that sense the ignorance of what was coming my way in those next few months was bliss, because I was just there to have a good time. And then very quickly my competing experience was kind of shifting around me unintentionally. I think ignorance is bliss in regards to the life I had before I ever competed for the first time, my relationship with food, my relationship with the gym. It went from being I ate because I wanted to I eat because it's data. It's I need macros in, macros out.
Yeah.
That kind of ignorance is bliss. But then I also do agree with you that, you know, I think knowledge is also power. So there's always that hunger to know and to want more.
What do you think, Chris?
I agree.
With who?
Me.
Alex? All right, me too. The girl wins again. Jesus Christ. All right, well, let's go to the first question. Let's go. We are done there. That's straight out. Yesterday's story. You are built to have you are built to handle the pressure that comes with your calling. Explain that. Explain calling. Explain handle.
I mean, I think it's a privilege to know what your calling is, because I think a lot of people go through life not ever fully realizing that. So firstly, if you found your calling, that's just something to be grateful for in itself. But I also feel like when you're pursuing something that you're extremely passionate about, along comes a lot of challenges and a lot of adversity. I remind myself that I'm being handed this because I'm capable of taking it and handling it, no one else. Otherwise, these opportunities, these pressures, these stresses that all have negative connotation to it would be handed to someone else. So don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as this is an opportunity for me to advance towards my vision or my calling or my goal.
Is it like a spiritual thing?
I think it's a combination of your mentality, your spirituality, your hobbies. Yeah, I don't think it derives purely from spirituality.
No, well, it sounds spiritual in a sense, your calling, because I've had this belief. I've had this belief that things fly around. Meaning, have you ever thought of something, you've looked at it and you've gone, you know what? Like a cafe would be really good and be so popular, and you forgot about it, and then a cafe's there and you go, that was my idea.
Yeah,
like, or this would be a really good handbag. I don't know, I'm just making up stuff. And then you go, oh my God, they did it.
Yeah.
It's because I think they float around. It's who grabs them and runs with it.
Yeah.
I think the world has ideas, dreams, visions. It's really who acts. It's all about acting. It's, you know what I mean? Like I said, you can read a lot of books. People can be so, have like literacy in reading and constantly read, but do you practice what you read? And I think that's the bit. The bit is, you can also have knowledge, but knowledge doesn't give you that complete power until you unleash it. I was going to bring up a quote about Alex Hormozi. I don't know if you've ever heard of Alex Hormozi. Anyway, he's big on the internet at the moment. Gym-wise big in the internet. Not training, businessman.
Right.
He does acquisitions on gyms, knows how to sell. Just his gym world is selling gyms, making gyms grow, all that stuff. And he said sometimes you could be putting in effort to something and you're putting everything into it, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to succeed in it. And that's the mystery, that you put all that time in and you didn't succeed, but you still got to put the time in because you might succeed. There's no real end result. I want to know, when you say you went into this comp in the IFBB one, just give it a go and be happy. So you had no expectations to win or anything. See, I would go in to win. I don't know. Would you go in to win?
I would, no.
Would you go in to win?
There's such a misconception there. I wasn't going to walk around and lie to everyone and go, I'd be stoked with second place.
Yeah.
I want to win.
Of course.
But there's no expectation to. I'm not entitled to anything. I don't deserve the first place any more than the person next to me. There wasn't ever an expectation that I was going to win. I didn't know where I fell amongst the competitiveness of athletes on the stage. I didn't know if I'd be competitive at all or if I was way in over my head. So I didn't have expectation. I wanted to win. Of course. And the winning was just going to be a byproduct of the internal work I was doing. But there was never, I think I could get first. I think I could get second. I think I could be top 3 call out. Asked Troy, and that's like the honest, he laughs about it now. He was like, you actually weren't pulling my leg when you literally didn't think that you had a chance. I was like, no, I didn't think that I had a chance.
Thank you everyone for supporting us on Muscle Talks podcast. What I'd really like is for you guys to hit the subscribe button. Why hit the subscribe button? It just lets us get a bigger reach, a bigger audience, and also some of the greatest guests. You've probably already seen we've had a few Olympians on, and we're striving to actually get right up there on the 1, 2s and 3s. Yes, possibly even C-Bum on here. So guys, subscribe, come on a journey with us with Muscle Talks. Now let's get back to the podcast.
I think it's great. First I like truth. I'm telling our truth. In other words, if we say we want to win, we have to tell you the truth, and you want to tell us the truth too. No one's better. Actually, I think if I could go in like you, I'd be more relaxed. I think I can't help but like that is a great mindset, but obviously you said something about the build-up getting closer was changing. You were exposing yourself, and you probably, look, I think you're a bit spiritual, call it whatever it is. If you have faith, I have faith. It doesn't matter what it is and how it is. But because you're no better than the person next to you. That's very noble of you. Not many people will say that. And that's the truth. And that's probably the best competitor you should be, because you should be able to hand over a trophy to somebody else and be happy, as you're hoping they could feel the same for you, which doesn't necessarily happen all the time. But no, I like that. Okay, so you seem, or going by your lifts and your highlights, squats and RDLs are something of your favourite. I mean, there was one hip thrust in there, but there are not many hip thrusts. So tell us how important these two exercises, and why so heavy?
When I started training for bodybuilding, looking back, my programming was a bit whack. At the time, I thought it was great. It was my first coach. Looking back, I'm like, what were we training? Yeah. It was full body 5 days a week. It was bizarre, right?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, yes. Very bizarre. And then I kind of took, when I left my coach and I needed to take time away from the stage just for personal reasons, which we can go into later. I just started wanting to train for strength, not for physical appearance. There was a lot going on behind the scenes. There was a lot of weight gain. There was a lot of issues with food. And so while I was eating so much, obviously naturally your strength was going up. And then I just kind of fell in love with training really heavy. I felt it was really empowering. I was going through a lot personally with a breakup, and I kind of felt like I'd lost all my power through that. So I was walking into the gym, and being the only chick squatting 110, 115 kilos kind of gave me that power and that inner strength and pride that I'd lost via someone else's actions. And then as a result, I just grew a massive bunda, and I was like, let's just keep on squatting and deadlifting. Now, looking back, I probably would not ever train like that again, because it isn't bikini criteria, but that's definitely how I just blew. I guess
it got you to bikini.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, that's how I blew my body up muscle-wise.
When you think about bikini, you probably have to start where you were, go backwards. You have to go, like you can... Just because you wear a bikini on the beach doesn't mean you're ready for bikini.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say? If that's your criteria, you're really shouldn't be competing in bikini. But if you've been hitting the gym 4 to 5 years prior, or 3, or whatever it is, and you've been smashing yourself up, maybe because of ex-boyfriends or whatever it might be, I mean, their criteria is to go to bikini. So isn't it funny?
Yeah.
I guess... knowing your age and how young you are, it's funny, because we segue into different things and I'm just listening. I remember my first love. I mean, it was my biggest love, but it was the biggest heartbreak too. But actually, that's the best way to start a loving life with people. Does that make sense? You go in, all in,
head first,
and you get thrown out all out. And you know what I mean?
Spat out the other side.
Yeah. So and then when you look back at it, you never regret it. You think, well, that was perfect. That was the right person to do it to me.
Yeah.
Depending how they did it, I hope.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is, and trust me, they usually come back wanting you back anyway.
Yeah, no, that definitely didn't happen.
No? Well, anyway, what I see now,
Thank God.
You've got a Greek Adonis, which we all look up to, literally.
I definitely do.
We literally do. Okay, so I'll keep going because I do want to get into that little bit of mental health, because I have a story myself.
Okay.
So we're going to share some great stories there. Going by your 22 highlights, and that's 2022, you look like you're a bit of glitz, glamour, and glitter. So it seems to be that you're quite colourful. I mean, I don't know how colourful you are. I didn't know. I was trying to work out what you were or what you do. I'm going to let you know my daughter is a triple threat.
Okay.
So my daughter just finished at 85.
Oh,
and
nice.
I got a feeling you got a friend called Sassy.
Yes.
Well, Sassy's Ruby's friend too.
Really?
She went to Active.
Yes, yeah. I know Charisse. I've known Charisse all my life.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, Ruby was encouraged by Charisse to go to 85. Ruby was, I'm not going to say Ruby was Ruby was there for 10 years. Ruby started at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Ruby's now turning 21.
Right.
And Ruby finished at Active, and similar to you, Ruby left school at year 9.
Yeah.
She couldn't do school. School wasn't for her. I had to realise that too. But boy, she's now a qualified performing artist, So Charisse got Ruby, I mean, her voice. I don't know Ruby until I see her on stage.
Yeah.
When I see, I'm sure even your boyfriend doesn't. No one knows you until they see you on stage.
Yeah.
And once you're on stage, I think that you introduce us all to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's something about that. So yeah, Ruby, active, sassy.
What a small world.
Yeah,
Sassy,
Ruby's acted with Sassy up on stage at Active. Ruby idolises Sassy. I know Sassy's brother.
Josh,
Yeah,
Josh. Love Josh. He's like
Josh
a brother
played.
to me as well.
They did a play, Shrek,
Yeah, right.
right? And the three main actors, everyone knows Shrek. So you got Shrek, Princess Fiona,
Yeah.
the donkey,
Yeah.
and the prince or the king,
Lord Fuckwad.
Lord Fuckwad. Josh played Lord Fuckwad, and Ruby played Princess Fiona. So she had the lead role,
Yeah.
and Ruby was 14, suffering depression and really skinny, and she did it. And she
Yeah.
did show after show
Yeah.
after show. So we're going to talk about that too, about
Yeah.
your little bit your mental health and mine too,
Yeah.
and Chris too. He's Macedonian. No, oh my God, we're going to get the Macedonians. Right? They haven't started following us yet. Hopefully they will soon. I keep saying the word. So yeah, you dress up, you dance, you wear your glitz, glamour, and glitter,
Yeah.
and Sassy's your mate.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, because it's up there. It says 22.
I mean, I've danced since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
I'm flicking the page. I'm not bored of what
No,
you're saying.
that's okay. And then when I was 8, I moved to Brent Street. So I was obviously just at like a local dance school.
Yep.
I moved to Brent Street, which I was there almost probably every night after school, and then Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then it just kind of took off. And once again, it was like ignorance is bliss. I was at this small dance school and I was the best there. And then I went to Brent Street and I realized, you've got a broken leg, you're still in class. You've got bronchitis, you're still in class. Like, you do not miss a single lesson. You don't have a single bobby pin out of place. Like, it was a job at 8 years old. I wasn't training for fun anymore. I was training to be a professional. And then I went to high school in year 7 and 8, and it was kind of not a great crowd, and I was kind of
the same.
Yeah, I was falling off the bandwagon a little bit.
Are you fat up or fed up? Tired of boring food? We just cooked this from our What Should I Eat cookbook. It's also on an ebook, making it more affordable for you. So, get your copy at threeog.shop.
It wasn't maybe different to yours. I say Ruby just can't do bullies and can't watch bullies.
No, it wasn't necessarily.
Not that you're a bully.
Yeah.
I'm saying is that was her. She couldn't gel
It
at
was
school.
just.
But you're saying the crowd.
I was out of my league. It was a very, very brand new private school. I don't come from a wealthy family.
Yep.
I didn't live in the eastern suburbs. I lived in St. George. Everyone else was from Vaucluse, Double Bay. And it was just really hard to keep up with. So I ended up leaving in year 9, and I did distance education and danced full time. So I did that through year 9 and 10. And then I decided I wanted to complete my HSC. So I went to Newtown Performing Arts. And I've always wanted to be...
My niece went to Newtown Performing
Oh,
Arts.
really?
Jacinda.
What?
She's a bit older than you. She's probably about
okay.
5 years older than you, but she went to that school.
Yeah, it was always dancing. There was never a backup plan. There was never a plan B. For me, if you have a plan B, it's just allowing room for failure. So it was dancing and that's it. I left school. I danced full time. I went and I trained in New York for 6 weeks on scholarship at Joffrey Ballet. And then I came back to Australia. I went to LA for about a month and trained with my best friend. And then I went to the UK and trained there for a couple of weeks as well. And then once I came back from the UK, I decided the UK was where I wanted to live to pursue my dance career. I bought a one-way ticket for July 2020 and COVID hit in March 2020.
Far out.
So I never ended up getting over there. The entertainment industry took a massive hit. There was no opportunity to work, let alone train as a dancer anymore. There weren't open classes. We were doing open classes online in our bedroom. And it just kind of got me thinking, like, what is the next way I can get on stage. And for some reason, bodybuilding shows were still full steam ahead. Like season B for 2020 was like up and running. And someone actually said to me, obviously I was training and I have trained at the gym my whole life because of dancing. I've needed to look a certain way my whole life. So someone at the gym actually recommended that I go compete, and they recommended my ex-coach. And in my head, it was like, well, I already train very seriously at the gym, and I can get on stage in what's probably closest to a dancing costume and perform. So why not try bodybuilding? And then it just stuck. And bodybuilding, I always thought dancing was it. When I got on stage for my first comp, I was like, no, this is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Chris can vouch for this. So many people go up to people and tell them to compete, Like, it's amazing. I never thought anyone, like a lot of people look like they possibly could compete, and some look like they shouldn't be competing. But the courage for someone to come up to you and say you should be competing is, obviously, everyone's got a keen eye. Maybe I just don't have it as keen of an eye. Some people, like I said, I think bodybuilding's come a long way. I mean, I don't know how big the lineups were on stage, but now we need how many people, say in bikini, it's not just one row, it's the next row and the next row, and then break down that row to bring out the next row. It's bigger. Like before, it could have been just 8 girls, 10 girls. Now it's 30 girls. Yeah. So it's completely changed.
It's growing.
Look, it's fantastic. I don't know if it matches, personally, because we've spoken about this, I don't think the sacrifice matches up with the prize in a way. I don't think it does, because the investment in bodybuilding is no different to the investment in someone being a sprinter with sponsorships, or call it a tennis player. You're still at the gym grinding. Food is so expensive. Sacrifice is just as much. And then it's a gold
medal
that's plastic.
Which I can order from Taiwan.
But what I'm getting is, and that's, I think, I told Chris maybe I did tell Chris that we're going to do a bodybuilding comp, and the first prize will be $1 million. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I think as well, like
Imagine
for
that.
bikini athletes, the prize money that they win is also a lot less significant than any male bodybuilders. So I think the payoff from it is even worse for bikini girls. Like.
Well, the thing is, look, like, trust me, let them listen. It doesn't matter. No one's stopping it. I mean, someone's got to talk. It's not, we're not here. Quietly, I'm thinking of competing once. I've got it eye on the tiger on it, right? And it's only because I'm scared. And I'm not scared of nothing. I tell people, you can be scared, don't be afraid. And I'm trying not to be afraid. So I don't mind scared, but I don't want to be afraid. So we could do it, we could not do it. I don't know yet.
Why are you afraid?
Because I'm not good. I don't think I'm good enough next to the guy next to me. And I think I don't know. I don't know what it is. I see their finished product, which I've had, but I've never finished like them. And I don't know if I can finish like them. Does that make sense?
So how will you find out?
Unless I do it.
Yeah.
All right, get ready to coach me. Anyway, we could give it a go. Who knows? We don't know that yet. We're going to edit that out, by the way, Chris. Going by your feed and going by your feed and highlights. And you mentioned how much you love food. Boy, there's waffles, donuts, breakfast platters, chocolate this, chocolate that. I mean, this is your 2022 highlights. And then your first quarter 2023, I still saw waffles and chocolate. What the fuck? You must have really pulled it up.
I love food.
I know you, that's all right.
But no, I don't even love food. I love sugar.
Okay.
Burgers,
What's your
pizza.
What's your background?
My mum's English and my dad's Uruguayan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a savoury person. Just, I could live on sugar.
Yeah.
Like it's...
I saw it and I'm thinking to myself, this does not look like a bikini comp girl highlight. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most of showing themselves weighing food, talking macros, and you're like, this is my breakfast, and it's got like, it's a 2-platter thing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what I mean? And then we've got this donut and that. And I'm just going through, I'm going, this is hilarious. And then I looked at the date, I'm going, look, some people need like 20 weeks out. I think you said something about 36 weeks out.
Yeah, 40.
40. But I'm thinking, God, she must have reined it in.
It's not I had to rein it in. It's you just flick the switch.
Well,
I have the ability.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of people
what I was gonna say.
don't have that ability.
You have to have the ability.
Yeah.
After what I saw, to go, there's no middle ground. You went that to that.
Yeah.
There's no, I'm going to do that
And is that what you
So
like?
I was from when I started bodybuilding in 2020, season B, I was in prep for 2 years.
Yeah.
I didn't come out of prep. I did 4 seasons back to back. I didn't know that wasn't normal. And this is what I mean by I've
But
had
did you feel,
irresponsible coaching experiences.
and did you think that was also the problem with food?
Yeah. So when I came out, I hadn't eaten for 2 years. And then that's where it kind of got out of control. And, you know, I don't say this word lightly, and I've actually never spoken about it publicly before, but an eating disorder developed. And I was just uncontrollable. And then that's when the heavy lifting and training
when you
came
say
about.
that word, you're going to have relief now. Because I had to say it once too, and I didn't know I had it in my 20s as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's, you know, obviously I want to advocate for mental health and this and that, but I also think sometimes you got to keep some things to yourself, and this was one of them that I just wasn't, I don't know, ready to share. And I also think it's a very delicate topic that I'm very underqualified to be speaking about.
But the only thing I think, again, when we say underqualified and qualified, is you only qualify because you did it. So many people have a stint with drugs and they think they can tell people about. Let me tell you, my biggest hate is when people talk about mental health, but they've never really had mental health, or they've never suffered, or fucking wanted to take their own lives out. I've suffered mental health for 10 years. Mine was medicated mental health.
Yeah.
So I can talk about it because I've ended up in hospital twice, but on my own and got myself out. So, but when I hear people tell me that they were actually alcoholics, but they talk about mental health, they were taking drugs. Not to say there wasn't a problem, but it's a different story if you've been a party person and it flipped you into that area. But mental health is such a delicate line, and you just got to know.
I can only speak from experience.
That's right. But when we talk about, let's go with eating disorder, in my 20s, when I said I was ripped at 21, for 10 years, I would wipe sauces off chicken. I wouldn't eat, I've never ate dessert. I wouldn't eat, it was just to the point where I was obsessed with a mirror, obsessed with reflection, obsessed with my clothing. And it was an eating disorder. I used to go to Christmas parties for HSBC and they have paid smorgasbords and I'd look for the lean food.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have the dessert. I wouldn't have the vodkas and drinks. Everyone would be carrying on. That was hard.
Yeah.
But I could see back, I didn't know how to back off. I didn't know how to stop. And it was kind of like an eating disorder. But once you have learned from that and you know, it's still kind of a part of me a little bit because I love food too. And I was a fat kid.
Yeah.
So I still think I'm the fat kid, right?
Yeah.
So what I mean is, I think when we say maybe no ignorance, the fact that you've learned all that, you can actually use it as certain weapons and certain strengths. So it's good to share it, but keep going.
Well, yeah, it's like now, obviously I'm in an off season and I naturally, I love sugar. I love chocolate. I'm a massive foodie. Even it's just a running joke in my friend group. They're literally like, Philippa's the dessert queen.
See, I like savoury.
Yeah, nah. Boring.
Yeah, I know. I like it. And I let you know, I make desserts and I don't eat them. I do a mean tiramisu, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I do. All through prep, I was baking and it never touched a single bite. But now it's kind of like in my off season, I feel like I'm able to enjoy food and eat certain things. But I also know that there was a place that I got to in 2022 where I just could never let myself go back there. And that's not to say that I haven't dipped my foot in the pond again. And, you know, you can have relapses or you can have really bad days. But I just know better now that I owe it to myself to never let myself get back to that dark space I was in with an eating disorder. Because it was crippling. It was one of the most difficult things I've had to overcome, and unfortunately there's no one else responsible for overcoming it other than you.
How I overcame it, I'm big on visualization. Visualization from the age of 16. Don't ask me why. I didn't choose it, I just have it, right? So visualization, mantras in my head. I found that when I was ready to damn the food, I blessed the food and I didn't care, even if I didn't believe it. So where I go like, I shouldn't have eaten that chocolate cake. No, that chocolate cake has got so much proteins, amino acids and vitamins, fats and carbohydrates. It's going to go in my body. It's going to absorb. My muscles will take what it wants, and what it doesn't want, we'll let it leave in peace.
Well, that's how I feel now.
Yeah.
It's like I was actually talking to my friend about this yesterday. You know, you see girls posting on Instagram. They're like, I had something off track last night, but it's okay. You can get back on track today. And I get that you're trying to put a good message out there, but to someone who struggled with an eating disorder, it's so triggering because it shouldn't be a big deal that you had some 2-minute noodles.
And that's what I'm saying to you. Is if
Like you didn't fall off the bandwagon and get like, you had 2-minute noodles, bro. Wake up and go about your day the next day. Like,
but what I'm saying is a cake, anything you have, you got to go find it. You got to find the good in it.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. So when you're ready to bastardize it, like really put yourself down over it, you got to say, no, there's proteins in there, and my body's going to grab it.
I just was
and you got to. Sorry, to interrupt. What I'm saying is, and you have to do it with love.
Yeah.
So what I mean is, I didn't do this overnight.
Yeah.
Like it was a fight because I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy things. So now, even if I have, let's say, I like going to Newtown to the Turkish ice cream place. I don't know if you've ever gone there. It's really good. It's very chewy, gummy. I don't have to use my thoughts of mantra, but if I did, I will go straight in to saying, because I said I'm into food prep right now, but I'll go have an ice cream, and I will make that ice cream have everything I need.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to do. I think it's the shift in thought. Then if you can put it down, how about you lift it up? And that's what people I think got to work on.
Yeah, I just feel like I had so much, like what you said, so much shame when I was eating, and mine was the opposite to you. I struggled with the binge eating disorder and bulimia.
Yeah.
And there was
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was hard, and that's like the first time I've ever said it out loud. But there was so much shame around eating, so much, and even now comments when people are like, I've never seen a girl eat so, like it throws you, and it's been we're coming up to 2 years.
But also, why don't they shut the fuck up?
Yeah, it just it doesn't come from a bad place.
No, but it still doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. Like what I mean, you have to get older to realize. I'm just letting you know. When we open our mouths, like
there's an effect. And
even my parents had an effect on me. They were great parents, but not the smartest. You got to understand that we don't know everything, and we don't control the world. And at the end of the day, we affect people. So, like, it's not like if I've got something good to say, like if you've got something bad to say, shut the fuck up, because I process it is, what does it affect you? Like I said, I'll give you an example. Let's say I've walked in the room and someone goes, oh, you've got a big pimple on your cheek. And this is the first thing that goes in my head. Motherfucker, do you think I didn't see that this morning? Now, I see a pimple on your cheek. The first thing I'll say is, you've got great eyes. And I'll just stick on that because you already know there's a pimple.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, is people pointing out something you don't know.
Yeah.
And when people point out things they think you don't know, but they're starting off with a real insignificant message towards you that you've got a pimple on your cheek and I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Where stop and think, they've seen it this morning and they're probably struggling with that pimple. So how about we start with, I really like your earrings, like you're wearing today. But everyone wants to find your flaws.
Yeah. I think now that's why, especially having such a long prep last year, I missed out on everything. Easter, my birthday, my partner's birthday, Halloween, like literally like everything. Valentine's Day, our anniversary, every birthday there was.
And he's still around. Alex, you're a keeper.
But that's why now, like, I see some girls that are like still quite strict in the off season, and that's great if the regimented routine works for you. But I can't feel guilty about smashing some donuts.
Don't.
Or an ice cream. And I've created the relationship with my coach as well, where I'm able to be like, hey, so I had XYZ across these days, or I'm going to this dinner, this lunch. And he's like, yep, go for it. Because I've earned that.
Yeah.
I've earned that. And he knows very well when it's go time, I flick a switch and wake up the next day and I won't touch what I can't have for however long.
But the thing is, from what I'm hearing, and it's good that you're saying on this not my podcast, just on a podcast. The thing is this, it's just bullshit what people talk about. I've only been 9 months on the online world. I'm very smart in business. Ask Chris. I've seen it all. who's making it and who's not. And to be honest, I'll tell you who's making it, 5%. So when you're looking at 100 posts, five people are making it, like either earning an income, being very successful and are happy. The rest are just the big pretenders. And I'm trying to get into that 5%. So I won't pretend. We'll never act like we're successful.
Yeah.
We'll never act like, I mean, we're trying to sell an ebook right now. I haven't said to you that I've sold hundreds of copies, and I haven't. And do you think any of my family have bought it? They don't give a fuck about me. Strangers buy it. I know me and Chris are selling to strangers. So all our ads go to strangers. Don't worry about my family or your family or anyone we know. Even the people on our social media, they're not buying the book. Who buys it? My TikTok friends on my personal account. My personal account, my friend, like meaning friends overseas, they're buying my book. So what I mean is you've got to realise kind of who you're working with. So what I'm trying to say to you is keep it real. Keep it always real. I think what it is when girls or guys post things, but they're not holding ground themselves in it either. Like in other words, it's just a post and you're trying to act like it's not difficult. You're trying to, like I said, the message you're sending is just completely wrong. I'm trying to find how I'm trying to explain it.
But that's why I post and have a highlight of food, because it's like I understand that there is a certain.
Yours doesn't show really one thing. Yours was quite open about who you are.
Yeah,
it's not even comp.
That's what I mean.
You're not even so comp.
Especially now turning pro.
Yeah.
Guys, this is my low calorie breakfast meal, but it's like people know I eat that. That like they get that. Did you not see me on stage? Of course I'm fucking eating a low calorie meal.
Yeah, of course.
But there's also a side of me. I'm not just a bodybuilder. I'm also Phillipa who loves sugar and loves to bake and loves to cook. Like bodybuilding is just a portion of it. So I'm not going to make my Instagram something that I'm not. Like it might be better for my brand. It might be better pushing X, Y, Z. But it's like I don't see any shame in loving to go have a donut with my partner or friends, you know, and posting about it.
Listen,
you can have both.
It's great. I think it's great. And the other thing I'm going to tell you, until bodybuilding really pays for your full-time career and you've got sponsors coming out of your ass, then you can talk as much low calorie as you want. Until then, unfortunately, you're studying law. We're going to talk about that too. So you're actually going to have a fundamental job. So in other words, let's not lose ourselves here, man. And to be honest, you know, most of the Olympians I've spoken to, the ones that have been to Olympia, they've got jobs. Most of them are personal trainers. Not actually none of them, because they've got to work hard to make income and they've got to get sponsors.
To get on stage.
Get on stage. So being a personal trainer, they don't have time for others to have for themselves. So they go, some of the data entry operators and others are this and that. Some are chiropractors. So in other words, it's just amazing to believe that everyone thinks that they're going to be driving their private jets and Lamborghinis competing. It's not the case, but let's keep going. 36 weeks ago, you said you wanted to be an anomaly.
Yep.
You want to be an anomaly. 22nd of October 2023, you made history. This is when you won, right? This is the IFBB Season B, right? The first Australian competitor to turn pro in their first session, to win 2 state titles, to finish off 11 divisions undefeated. I did it. I fucking did it. Let's go. Let's talk. What's going on there? Like, did you have to come first in everything and be so humble and pretend to us that you weren't really going for that? And we want to know the formula.
The formula, you'll never know.
Knew it.
No.
Knew it, Chris. Okay.
Inquire with my coach.
Okay.
And you might have some luck.
I think he's still scratching his head, but that's...
It was a 2-way street. We're a great team.
Who's your coach?
Troy Thornton.
Troy Thornton.
Yeah.
Is he a Sydney guy?
No, he's Mr. Worldwide, actually.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, that's what I call him.
Pitbull.
He goes between Melbourne and Dubai.
Fantastic.
Literally, Mr. Worldwide.
What's his name again?
Troy Thornton.
We're going to get Troy Thornton on. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll get him on.
He's worth your time.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's worth our time, baby. But that, of course he's worth our time. Yes.
He's
Sorry, Troy.
very, very good at what he does.
Why did you choose him?
Because he's the best.
Go on. Everyone's the best. Why choose him?
No. Like, statistically speaking, with the amount of pros that have been produced by any coach in Australia, he is the best. That's an objective.
Wow, I like that.
Point to make.
Okay.
There could have been other coaches that I went with. There was a coach that I inquired with who actually wouldn't take me. He said that.
What did he say? We don't want the name. What did he
You're
say?
not going to get the name.
What did he say?
He's an underdog. Great coach, not Troy Thornton. And I thought, I'll see who I get a good vibe from. He's known as being like friendly and supportive.
I love this.
Troy doesn't have a bad rap, but he's a hard motherfucker.
Yeah, good.
And Troy knows that. Like, you don't go to Troy's team if you're a snowflake, and it's as simple as that.
Well, I don't think anyone that succeeds is really liked in this world. So
Yeah.
keep going.
So it was between them and the original option. I actually got an email back saying that he won't take me. My structure is my glass ceiling in this sport. I won't go pro. And even if he did take me, he would need me to do at least a year off season with him.
Good, we know it all out there. Go on.
So then I was like, when I got this, I was in tears.
Wow.
We literally, me and my partner were together short. Like,
tell me now that wasn't part of the 36 weeks as well.
No. So this was probably at the
No. What I'm saying is, the humble, polite, whatever comes, they deserve it as much as me. I'm going to show this motherfucker.
It was definitely
Come
just,
on, let's go.
It made it a bit sweeter.
All
I'm not
right.
going to lie.
Yeah, let's go.
No, I was shook by the email.
Yeah.
I would
be.
in tears. I thought,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, there's no way that I'm ever going to make it to an IFBB stage. I appreciated the honesty. And part of me being me, I actually said, I still want to sign up to him and I still want to prove him wrong. And my partner was like, you cannot work with someone who doesn't believe in you. Like, you just can't. I get you have the mentality that I'm going to prove them wrong.
Did Alex tell you that?
Yeah. He was like, you need to take your business elsewhere.
Okay, Alex is smarter than you look.
So then...
You go with the birds.
So then...
I have to still want him later, Chris.
I,
and don't forget to do thumbnails. And get him in it.
Reached out to Troy.
Yes.
Troy he was responsive straight away. So there was just the element of he was
already changed.
Good businessman.
Yeah.
Any question I had, a massive issue for me was I was medicated on antidepressants.
I'm going to talk about that, yes.
Yeah. And I asked him, are you willing to work with an athlete on antidepressants? 100%. You don't need to come off them. We'll work. It's all about metabolic appetite. Like, every question I had, he had an answer to. And I just had this good gut feeling.
I'm going to go to those questions, so I'm going to bring my phone out. So keep going.
Yeah, I had just a good gut feeling going into working with him. At the start, it was very much like once a week, check in, polite. Like, I didn't want to bother the guy because he was scary. I was like, it's Troy fucking J. Thornton. Like, he's the one. Like, I don't know. I'd idolized him for years. So the fact that I even had his number on WhatsApp was like, oh my God. Like, it was massive. I felt it was like imposter syndrome. Like, I can't believe I'm on his team. I wonder where I fall like amongst his athletes. And then I guess as time went on, I learned more about...
You've got great shoulders, by the way. You've got great arms.
Built by Troy.
Fucking Troy. Built by Troy.
8 sets of lateral raises.
Fucking built by Troy. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, as time went on, obviously, as you get deeper into prep, you kind of start to form a bond. You rely on your coach a little bit more than you did at the start. And there was a lot of personal things going on. And I guess he just created a space where I felt comfortable to share that with him. So
Well,
our
that's a good
bond,
coach.
our bond just got stronger. And I was coming to him for personal things. I'd have a issue with my parents, or I'd have and I was just coming for advice, almost like he was more of a mentor, not just a coach. I don't know if
that makes a good coach.
Yeah, I don't know if all ladies have that experience, but I just really looked up to him. And I said this in my post about him, that when someone you highly respect believes in you, you start to believe in yourself. And that was a massive turning point. I was like, if Troy sees potential in me, like, maybe I am worth a little bit more than I think I am. So it was just, I feel like my life has constantly been an uphill battle in every fucking goddamn aspect. And when Troy took a chance on me and saw potential in me, it was like one of the first people in my life to see me as valuable.
As you?
Yeah. To see what I could be. And I rode on that. So
It takes one.
yeah, 100%.
Because when you're by yourself and then someone sees you, like really sees
Yeah.
you and believes in you, that's all you need, man.
It's extremely validating.
It is. All you need is one, because it's hard to find one.
Yeah.
You can't even find them in your own family.
Yeah.
Just to find the one.
So that definitely, my coaching experience with him was incredible, and I couldn't have asked for a better first IFBB experience in terms of the prep side. And then I did the Queensland show because my mum lives up there, my auntie, my mum's partner. So I just kind of wanted, like, I wanted to be on stage. This was the whole thing. I wanted to do a whole season. I didn't want to just do one or two shows. And I asked Troy, you know, I kind of want to do another state show. And he was like, yeah, gun, let's do it. And I was like, am I in over my head? He was like, fuck no, do it. And then after that, it was, I kind of want to do Amateur Olympia in Japan. What do you think? 100%, let's do it. Like, none of my ideas were undermined by him. I was never thinking too big for him. And that's the thing, is Troy is such a successful person that your ideas are not too big.
Did you hear that, Chris? Are you listening about ideas? And Troy just goes, do it?
He would say to me, he's like, if you bring me an idea and I don't know how to tackle it, it makes my job more exciting, because I now have to figure out a plan to get you to where you want to be. It makes his job more challenging. That's a completely different experience I'd had with my ex-coach, where it was, I was bringing her, I want to go to Olympia, I want to do this, I want to do that. And she was just like, you know, you're in cloud 9, you have to come back down to earth. We just, like that, like just, it's like pouring fucking water on your flame, man. Like, that shit sucks. And Troy never once, he was like gasoline. Like, he just, if I had an idea, yeah, sick, let's do it.
I think I don't know Troy, and I'm not going to say, he sounds amazing, and I've kind of learning something from him, because I've also been the type that goes with ideas and gets ideas squashed. I'm an ideas person. It doesn't mean necessarily every idea is going to work, but why do we have to start with it won't work? Like, let's find out it doesn't work. Like, that's the most important part, is finding out it doesn't work. So I think, not saying I'm not going to put words in Troy's mouth, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a dream or an idea and you want to go for it, he knows that you're the only one that's not going to go for it in the end. You're the only one that's not going to strive towards it. But if Troy says, let's do it, he knows let's do it doesn't mean we've done it. Let's do it means let's do it. Let's go. We're going to go and we're going to find out. And I think that's a good coach, because we haven't even done the first step. You've shared an idea. Let's see if we make it to tomorrow. And then maybe tomorrow we can pull up and say, I don't think we can do your idea. And you'll say, why? Because you're not committed. I'm committed to come with you, but that's your idea. So Troy knows it's your idea. So Troy's got a bag full of tools and goodies, but you need to, when he opens the bag and passes them to you, you need to be there so he can pass you the tools. To action it. So, Troy's, I'm assuming, Troy sounds amazing. And I think it makes me think about myself. I'll say a funny story. And being Alex is Greek and myself, I'm Greek too. My son, I just saw him a few days ago. I was riding his mountain bike, because my bike's blown tired, to go get a coffee in the morning, do my walk. And he was there fishing. He's supposed to be at school. So he's there fishing, right? And I saw his mates, I'm riding past, and I went, and when I saw, I'm unfortunately divorced, but long time ago, so it's all good. But as soon as I saw Yanni, I was like, hey, Yanni! And the first thing he says, is that my bike? And I go, look, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble now. I go, yeah, man, it's your bike. And he was telling me why he's there. He goes, we got the swimming carnival. And this is my answer to him. Oh, I knew you had a good answer. I knew there was a reason. My dad would have pulled off his shoes, thrown them at me, belted the shit out of me before I even opened my mouth. I had a swimming carnival. But what I'm getting at is, like, that's my style. So many people see my style as wrong. That's why I'm divorced. My son said one day, he was 8 or 7 or 9, he goes, can I have ice cream for breakfast? And I went, I need thinking music, right? Maybe Troy too, because you've got an idea. And I went, if I was 9, I'd want ice cream. He hasn't had ice cream. He's never asked for it. Yeah, we'll have ice cream.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth. We've never had it. It's an idea. It's a dream. Let's do it.
Yeah.
If you want ice cream tomorrow, we might be doing something different.
Yeah.
So like what I'm trying to say, when we have ideas and we share them with people, how about we stop for a minute and think, I'd like to be like Phillipa. I'd like to have a dream of Olympia. Doesn't mean you're going. It just means you have a dream.
Yeah.
So we're trying to. So I think people just throw themselves in their own limitations on you, and we just got to learn to be politely fuck off in our heads. Just politely,
100%.
if it's such a thing. What do we got here? What do we got? 5 days ago. Oh yeah, we did that one. Did we do that one? One sec. 5 days ago, you posted, when I looked in the mirror. That's right. I see my biggest competition. It was never about beating others or winning a show. It was about showing up every day, beating the level of effort I put in yesterday. I was never concerned about working about working other athletes. I was focused on myself, working 1% harder than I did the day before. Beating yourself will always be your biggest fight. Tell us more.
I think
Socrates.
I think my mindset is probably my biggest competitive edge in the sport.
I can see. You're a bit of a stealth.
Yeah.
Even when I arrived and arrived late, is she happy with me? She doesn't look, I don't know. She's not impressed with me. But go ahead. And I still think that.
No, I agree. I had a great physique, but I think a great physique is a lot easier to build than a great mindset.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm being completely honest.
Well, you can put yourself down a lot.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of girls focus so much on the physique and being lean and cardio and this and whatever it is, all the things that are required physiologically of the sport, and they just completely sidestep the psychological aspect. And, you know, when people ask me, how did you do what you did? How did you set history? How did you break records and do what no Australian athlete has ever done? It's my mindset.
I agree.
And that...
Because when I look at your body, I'm not trying to say it's not better than anyone else's. It's a fine line between everyone else's.
Yeah.
So what is it that got you there? I don't know, but I think the fact is that there's things that people say, I saw it in your eyes, I saw it in the way you spoke, I saw it in how you acted. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I guess you had everything going on. Plus, you had a great coach too.
For me, the reason why I decided to do IFBB last year was because I had stopped bodybuilding due to a breakup, due to an eating disorder, unfortunate living circumstances. My dad went through a split with his partner of 10 years and I was living with him, so I got kicked out. Like there's a whole array of things, and shit was falling. Like COVID had hit. My mum had just moved into state. I didn't have my mum here for support. I was unemployed. Everything. So I needed to take a step back from bodybuilding. And coming back last year, it was never about winning or being the best or beating other people. It was, does this still set my soul on fire? Because it used to, but I stopped bodybuilding as a result of other people's actions influencing my life, of other external events and circumstances taking bodybuilding away from me. I didn't decide to hang up the shoes and retire. It was something that needed to be done in order for my head to stay above water and to fix my mental health. So I wanted to go back. I wanted to step on stage, and I thought one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to step on stage and I'm going to go, fuck yeah, the fire never went out. Or I'm going to step on stage and I'm going to go, yeah, it doesn't do what it used to do. And then I know I'm done with bodybuilding. I can close that chapter, but I can close it because I wanted to. I'm responsible. It was my decision to close that chapter, but I didn't want to get to 50 and go, what would have happened had I pursued bodybuilding? So that whole prep, I was on antidepressants. I didn't know if it was physically possible due to the interference of your metabolism to get to such a lean state. So obviously everyone's like, I don't know if I can get that lean. No, I genuinely didn't know if it was physically possible to get that lean while medicated.
Well, let me tell you firstly, since we're going into medication, I too have been on medication. I'm not on medication anymore. But I too, at 44, I was introduced to Zoloft, antidepressant. Really, that was the worst thing my doctor and my ex-partner did to me. As the back of the box tells you the side effects, I got them all. I got them all. It didn't stabilise me. I fought tooth and nail to stabilise myself, and then I stuck on it because I was too afraid to let it go because I thought that's what fixed me. It took 3 attempts and 2 hospital visits to realise what the fuck happened in 10 years of being with a psychologist. But what I found when I started with antidepressants, especially at 44 and recently, when I say recently, a few years ago, that's why I had to lose 20 kilos, is it put on 20 kilos. It's hard to stabilise weight. It bloats you. And I didn't even really eat. Yeah. So antidepressants, and to lean up and do what you did, which you can because I learned you can do it because I too leaned up while on less medication. I had to minimise the medication. I guess maybe we should also talk about the levels of how much medication you're taking.
I didn't change mine.
You stuck, right? Okay.
Nothing changed. That was a variable
That's good to know because what I'm saying is I reduced mine, which helped me balance my weight.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about I blew out.
Yeah.
Like 20 kilos.
Yeah.
I went from 87 to 107.
Yeah.
And because, I don't know about you, I distribute fat well, so I can be fat, but it's not all in one area.
Yeah.
It's like I've got bigger legs, I've got a bigger ass, I've got just bigger arms. It's not like just looking fat. It wasn't even big muscular. It was just big.
Yeah.
So go on.
So I just didn't know if it was physically possible.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I would not say I don't know that, but it's good to hear what you're saying.
100% it's possible.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know where it was going to lead. So that's where the zero expectation came in. I was purely doing it for me. So I didn't get to 50 and have some sort of regret or what if. And then obviously as I got into prep, the old routine started coming back. The feelings of, I do fucking love this shit, man. Like this. It's not even being on stage. It's like prep sets my soul on fire. Yeah. Everyone always goes on about, like, how are you not exhausted? How are you not tired? It's like there's literally nothing more energizing than knowing you're achieving your biggest goal.
Oh, there's something about it.
Like you're tired, don't get me wrong, but like it's fucking thrilling. Like there's no better adrenaline rush. And prep for me, I wanted to stand on stage and be able to say to myself, you did that. Nobody else did that. I live by myself. I run my own household. I work multiple jobs. I don't depend on people. My relationship with my parents and family is distant on a good day. It was just
boundaries.
Me.
Yeah, you've set your boundaries up well.
Yeah. And that's why it was so internal. And the result on show day could not have been, obviously, like I said, I wanted to win, but it couldn't have been more irrelevant because I was on that stepper in the last few weeks and I was in tears, not because I was sad, because I was like, I've never felt more accomplished. I've never had so much pride in myself as a human being. The way I'd handled it, the way I'd carried my mental health, the amount of effort I'd put into seeing a psychologist and a life coach every week. I was doing it for me.
I big advocate for psychologists.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. So many girls.
It gave me so much wisdom in the end.
Sidestep the work that needs to be done mentally. Your body can only take you so far in this sport. The physical part, easy. Your coach is taking care of that. You get a plan, you go do what you need to do. It's the mental stuff that I just feel like people do not have the correct mindset and approach to prep. And that's why there's some people that just go far in the sport and there's some people that could go far in the sport and they just don't because they don't look at it from the right perspective.
Oh, no. Wise words, good words. I wanted to, because obviously you've mentioned this and I'm just going to look more in. But yeah, I was shocked that not shocked, I was happy you shared it because everyone's spoken about mental health on this program. And there's been
quite some revealing stuff, actually some refreshing stuff. Like I go, oh, it's so refreshing, to hear this from you, And this is quite refreshing too, because when you said you were competing and even what you said, the medication didn't change. That's why I had to ask you, did you reduce your number of, because I think I was on once 50 milligrams on Zoloft, then I think I got up to 150. But when I took it down to 25 milligrams, that's when I started losing weight. That's me. We're talking about me, and I'm not weighing food. I'm just eating the same. But when I got down to 25 milligrams, the weight started to shed off. But I must say, the one thing that got me back was the turning up to the gym and sweating my ass off when I didn't want to. And that got me back. And then when you get over that little hump, it actually now the downhill run is like feeling amazing. And you kind of can take the medication with you. It's like, let's go. We're going now.
Yeah.
We're all on the same page. We're all working together. So well done, and thank you for sharing.
That's okay.
But like I said, your coach, he sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to. I don't know why. I mean, when I say I don't know why I don't know him, I mean, I'm not the biggest social media kind of guy, and we're getting there because we're an online business and we're doing our best. All right, we spoke about professional dancer. We got that, but you're also studying law full time, and you're in your 3rd year. You work as a paralegal, and you have 2 jobs, and you're not Greek.
I'm not great.
Okay, so tell us about studying law. Why law?
Because it's lucrative.
In money?
Yeah.
A lot of things are lucrative. I can't be bothered reading it. I mean, I just can't read books. I don't know why. So that's why I can't go to uni, because I'll just daydream out the back. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit of a daydreamer. I think I like to just get in there. I'm the type that gets IKEA and then reads the instructions later. Like I just get in there, put the whole unit together, and then I get it wrong, and then I go, let's get back to the instructions. You love studying and lucrative. There's so many facets of law. Is there a particular bit you're looking for?
Definitely commercial or corporate.
Yeah. My girlfriend is that.
Yeah, I love anything to do with business, negotiations, ADR, mergers, acquisitions.
Well, Kiara not only was having a child and suffering depression, but then she also built a law firm and became a lawyer. She has quite a story herself.
Yeah.
And I think, lucrative, explain lucrative.
COVID hit and I saw how much dancers were struggling and how easy it was to pull the entertainment industry out from under
travel
us.
industry.
And that was the year I went to uni. I was at home, and I guess this comes back to me being a very tangible, goal-driven person. Having a goal is just something that I thrive off, and I don't have a goal, I kind of feel lost. And with COVID having hit, everyone was lost. Nobody knew what to do with themselves. So I went to uni and I started studying law. Before I decided what it was that I wanted to study, I simply just looked at what pays well, what can make me money and give me a life that I want to live once I'm done with dance. It wasn't a matter of me giving up on dancing. It was just...
Because I'm going to create a little debate in a second. And the debate is, even though it's lucrative and even though law... So you're good academically, is that correct? You're good
No, I'm hardworking.
You're hard... All right. Okay, that's good because,
I'm not... My brother is in Mensa. He's a genius. He's got an IQ of maybe like 146. Like he's very, very intelligent.
Right.
Man. Photographic memory.
What does he do?
We're not going to get into that. He's a bartender now, but he went from studying forensic science to veterinary science, and now he's just living a nomad life.
Do you know Dr. Ash?
No.
He just won Men's Physique IFBB Pro Season B. You're the same where you were on Queensland on stage. He's the guy that won Men's Physique, Dr. Ash.
Right.
He's actually a dentist and a veterinarian. He knows how to play every instrument, can't stop studying, and he tells his kids the only way you have fun in sport is winning. That's it. There's no participation. You just win.
Yeah.
Right? So it's quite funny. The reason I say that is, and I say it politely because I say it to myself, you can still be lucrative in dancing. Doesn't matter about COVID. Doesn't matter about anything.
No.
In other words, I think there's always a place to find. It's just finding it. What I mean by that is, okay, all right, this is what I see with the performing arts. All right, I'm not a performing art person, but Ruby is. That's my daughter. I said to Ruby, if you don't look at yourself like a businesswoman, because when you go out to get gigs, I go out to get sales. No one pays me, I pay myself. So I get in my car, I go to a cafe, and the cafes, 10 cafes say no to me. Nope. So this business here isn't really paying me and Chris to, like, I can go get a lucrative, what I'm saying, the lucrative job. I can go work for somebody and they'll pay me for my experience. What I'm alluding to is I know there's more to it. Meaning, what I said to Ruby was, in performing arts, you need to be a businesswoman. You need to build brand. You can't be an actress. You can't be a dancer. You can't be a singer. You need to be this and everything underneath it. And you need to go out as a businesswoman and be business. I said to her, in performing arts, in anything we do that is solely you, then you are a business person, or you've got the business mindset that you need to survive. And that's what I'm trying to say to you, that I'm not here to tell you law isn't lucrative and not to go do law, and you should do law. What I'm saying is everything's lucrative until you realise that it's not about necessarily she's a dancer, she's a this, she's an actress. No, get in your head. You are a businesswoman, or that's what you are, and you are selling something. And until you go out there, and that's just my look at it, because I have nothing. I have a skill. I have a skill to grow a business, which is an art. And I go out there and everybody, it's easier to, like I said, get employed. I know what I'm going to get at the end of the week.
This is where my inner lawyer is going to come out, because I'm going to rebut that. And
yeah, but we're here to have a debate.
The most challenging person you'll ever meet.
No. I like it because it also could increase our ratings. So let's debate.
I totally respect that point of view, and I feel like when there's a passion there and you purely love something, you're going to go a lot further than someone who's doing it just for the sake of...
But just remember, we were talking about passion.
Money.
Yeah.
And I think when you're really, really good at something, there's always money to be made. But...
Not really, though.
Objectively speaking, having experienced both, as a dancer, I will not earn what I earn as a lawyer, no matter how great I am.
That's why you create your own dance company, your own production company.
This is where I'm going to interrupt you.
Yes.
I don't want to have a dance company. I'm a dancer.
Right. But what I'm saying to you
and this is what people mix up. It's two different occupations. It's like telling a dentist to go do, I don't know, heart surgery.
No, you're telling a dentist, stick to dentistry, don't go get your own business and have a dentistry. What I'm saying, there's a book called The E-Myth.
No, because to have a dance company would require you to be a choreographer, not a dancer.
You're still dancing.
Or require you to be a teacher or to work on the production side. You're not. It's like saying the difference between coaching and competing. You're on different flip sides. I got no satisfaction out of teaching.
So are you telling me there's no dancer out there that earns as much as a solicitor?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, I can't argue that.
Like, yeah. Going from living paycheck to, you might get, don't get me wrong, you get a job and we do get paid great money when we do get the jobs, but then you go 3 weeks without a job.
Oh, the same as business.
As a lawyer, I'm on a salary.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I can get a salary too.
So it's like for me, I loved dancing, but I also really like nice things.
But I understand, but you've got to understand where I'm coming from too, that at the end of the day, nothing's guaranteed, but jobs are guaranteed. And jobs at the end of the day aren't always fun. And a lot of people leave them when they're 50. They never wanted to be a lawyer. I know miserable lawyers. I know miserable accountants. I know, most people are miserable that have worked. What I'm saying is I'm 54 and just worked for myself for the last 20 years. And I told Chris as well, I'll tell you, I have made money and I've been at zero where I don't have food because I've made stupid mistakes and I keep enjoying the thrill more than it is the income, but I have to not be stupid because I need the income. And sometimes I'm just about the thrill. I'm just all about the thrill and I forget the income part. And that's the bit when I say I'm trying to juggle, like I said, I get lucrative. I can never be a lawyer. I know I can't because I can be a lawyer if you let me sit with you for a month or two or a year. I'll become a lawyer. But to tell me academically to go do it and even do the hard work, I'm daydreaming. I wonder if I got that coffee company and I sold 30 kilos, $50. That's just me. I can't do it. Won't do it. I can't do it. But I do believe you can be lucrative in anything you want. Very fine line, maybe 1%. That's, I think you said something about 1%. But let's keep going before I piss you off anymore. No. But I didn't piss you off.
This is just my natural instinct. Like, I will agree with something that like someone's saying, but as a little lawyer in training, my first instinct is just to argue, because I just love playing devil's advocate. I love getting into discussions with people. I'll agree with what you're saying, and I'll leave like the conversation. My friend will be like, "Bro, but you don't even disagree with it." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It was just entertaining to have an argument with them."
But the thing is, no. But
I just like to challenge people.
No. But I'm trying to say to you that I see your point, but 95% of the world see your point. 5% don't, because I'm always fascinated by those that wouldn't agree with your point. I want to know what, like, I get it. I really do get it. I think I need to go get a job right now, be open, because I could invest further in property. I think he knows, as Greeks, we have money and we put it in property, we're broke again. We're waiting for 15 years later for the property to pay us back. I'll be honest with you. I had once 8 properties. I have 1 left after divorce. I'm back to trying to build property again. It's going to be a long haul. I can go get a job and it'll be maybe a quicker run. I don't want it. I don't want no one to tell. Actually, I've realised no one can work with me. No one likes me. No one likes to work with me. Why? Because I raise the bar so high that I'm a threat. And I'm humble. I'm just a threat to people, and I don't mean to. I've got ego for some reason. Whatever it is, how my appearance is always misinterpreted. So then I go, well, I just work for myself. And to be honest, Chris is probably the only guy that can keep up. Chris is the only guy that can keep up, because I've sent him home from the gym at midnight to do a post. And I know he's saying, fuck off, Steve. But we've got the post up. You're out of retirement. You're back in raves.
Yeah.
All righty.
We need HSU to sponsor me.
So you're into raves, and you even went to a rave
Yeah.
inside prep.
Yeah.
Did you take your water?
Yeah.
And
I took my chicken and rice, took it in the car,
Caleb
ate
did
my
that as well.
ate my meal,
Yeah.
went to the rave. I went just with him. I was working as well. I was actually on stage for Marlo dancing.
I saw that.
But I went and attended before. I actually went to 2. I went to Midnight Mafia as well while I was in prep.
Hold on a second. I just want to, Alex, how do you feel when you watch her on stage? Meaning dancing.
At the festival.
But we're blokes.
Yeah.
Don't hit me with, unless you are, but is there sometimes not jealousy because you want her to yourself, but then the world wants her. She's up there. Do you sometimes does it fight? Is there a battle going on inside you?
We were just talking about this. Okay.
Yeah.
When I stand there and watch her dance,
Yes.
something inside me goes, "You should be so angry about this. She's wearing the skimpiest outfit."
Yeah. Of course you should be.
Oh, I don't care.
Right. Oh, I love that.
That does not bother me. I see guys there, they're looking at her. But at the end of the day, she reassures me.
You're a champion, and you're a champion because because I have life. I've been not a champion many times. Fuck up.
Not a champion.
Not a champion.
Such a way to put it.
Yeah.
I've been not a champion.
Yeah, I have not been a champion. Well, he said he's a champion. I'm going to tell you, not a champion. But I admire that. And I admire young men. That's the thing. I admire Chris. He's 23 too. And Alex, listening to him, because this is what's fucked. We don't want to admire nobody except ourselves. And also they should respect us. When I see talent coming, when people see talent, we should admire that talent. And that's why I thought I'd just ask that question, because no one... This is what I'm saying, and I want to get back to your dancing, is what we should worry about is ourselves. So Alex should think, good luck, Phillipa. You've got the power to have the power. And same as him. We've all got the power. So I wanted to ask the fact, because I've noticed you love to dance. You're up on stage. You're in raves. There's guys around you. They're drinking. Everyone's carrying on out there. You're on stage, bodybuilding, in a bikini. Everyone's looking at you. We're not all looking the same way. We have intentions in our head.
Yeah.
So go on.
I would
Raves.
I would go with my friends.
Yes.
They'd all be pre-drinking. I'd be having my chicken and rice.
Yes. Sorry.
That's okay. We'd go to the rave and I would drive and I'd have a meal in the car and my friends know the go. I'm there for as long as my energy can last.
Do you still have a good time though?
There's adjustments that need to be made. I don't have the energy I have when I'm out of prep. And there's, you're surrounded by drunk people and you're not intoxicated.
People on drugs.
Yeah, there's a lower tolerance for people when you're standing there sober at a rave. Things like my legs get sore, I get tired, I'm really hungry. So then instead of being up till 4 a.m, it might be it's 10, 11 o'clock and I go, okay guys, I've been here for an hour or two. I'm going to go now.
Good on you.
I go. I think there's such a misconception that every single thing needs to be sacrificed
You
for
also
prep.
got your steps in. You got your
Yeah,
steps
and
in.
it's like it's just like you can still have normality. It was the same thing with cooking and baking. I baked all through prep, and my coach actually
What do you
replied
bake?
to one
What
of
do you
my
bake?
stories. Everything. I was making some cake for his birthday, and my coach kind of replied jokingly like, "Haha, that's not on your plan." And I was like, no. And I happened to film myself for TikTok, right? And I was baking and I was talking to the camera and I was saying, people ask me, how do you bake and not taste it?
I'm like that,
Yeah.
but I have a food issue.
I call it blind baking.
Is it?
I don't know what it tastes like.
Well, at least
You're
I know
gonna
the name now,
yeah,
blind
you're gonna
baking.
tell me. But it's like I love eating it and I love baking it. I only need to lose one of the things. Why lose two things that I like? Why not cook for 9 months? I actually still enjoy that. I still get enjoyment out of other people eating it. And it's the same thing with raves. Obviously, as I got towards the end of prep, I didn't have the energy to go out, so I didn't. But while I still had the energy, why couldn't I go out, make adjustments so it is prep friendly, and then continue about my day on Sunday?
That's a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
Especially at your age.
I'm just
saying
maybe.
it is.
Maybe it is.
I never had that discipline.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't think of it as like discipline.
It's a discipline.
Yeah.
Why? It's a discipline because at your age, at everyone's age, all day, all night, just enjoy life.
Yeah.
I mean, when are you going to enjoy it? I'm not saying you're not, but that discipline. Recently, I had to do 2 times tiramisu, and I make the fucking meanest tiramisu. Let me tell you, right? And my daughter wanted it for for a Christmas party with her girlfriends, and I made it. And I thought I'd TikTok it live, so I was making it, and then someone goes, "Oh, it's my birthday coming up. Can you make it for me?" And I said, "I will. I like to keep my promises." So 3 weeks later, I had to make this girl her tiramisu, and again, I didn't have it, and I was wondering what it tasted like. I'm thinking, I wonder how good it is, but and I'm not even in comp, but because I'm trying to lose weight, I'm in comp.
Yeah.
I'm in comp. Where are we? Let's have a look here. I just said, let me look at these questions here. We said you're a massive advocate for mental health, which is wonderful. We spoke about that. Just reading, sorry. Okay. I've had really poor and dangerous past competing exercises, which is why my last prep was close to your heart and you hold your coach at side. So tell us that, because people would want to understand it a little bit. I do, because you wrote it here. You gave it to me.
Yeah, I had really, really bad prepping experiences. I didn't know they were bad until I was out of the situation. It's almost like a toxic relationship that you don't...
But maybe someone's going through it, so what was it? If you can share it. If
so
you
my
can't,
first
sorry, Chris.
prep
Sorry.
was fine. It was like a short turnaround. It was like 7 weeks. I'd never prepped before. I'd never tracked my food.
Is 7 weeks
so my
short,
body...
too short? Just asking.
No, like that. It was fine. I was on like a normal prep amount of calories. It was ICN. I didn't need to get that lean. And then that show, I did 2 more shows and won all of those as well. And then I think I had maybe like 8 weeks off until my next prep for season A 2021 started. And then that was the year I won my pro card. And then
With
instantly
ICN? Yep,
and then instantly after that prep and winning my pro card, we went, great, now let's move to IFBB. So we started straight away for IFBB for 2021 season B. That show got cancelled. Like 6 weeks out, and I'd been prepping for like 16.
Yeah.
So that was devastating. Then I kind of had a bit of, I think maybe it was like a period of 10 weeks off, and my breakup happened. Then I was an absolute wreck, and obviously what did I resort to? My coach said to me, the best way to deal with this is to compete again. So he sent me back into prep. I just started antidepressants. My weight was only going up and up and up, my coach had called my ex and said, you know,
Got involved with your life.
yeah, you need to tell Phillipa she has to stop taking her antidepressants. And he was like, I can't do that. Like, number one, she's not my responsibility anymore. Number two, I'm not going to do that. And she was like, it is your responsibility because you're the reason why she's on them in the first place. And then he kind of reached out to me. We were still on very, very good terms, like very civil, still training together and stuff. And he was kind of trying to allude to the fact that you need to fuck this coach off. And
was he right? Was he right?
Yeah. I mean, I was on like maybe 700 calories a day, doing an hour and a half, 2 hours of cardio. I was on keto diet, so I didn't have a single carb in my diet. I was having tuna for breakfast.
Your brain was gone.
I had a car accident.
It wasn't even the antidepressants that were causing it too.
I had ridden my car off. I was barely functioning. I was newly medicated because my depression was that severe. I was seeing a psychologist. I was seeing a life coach.
Had you been on antidepressants prior?
No.
It's on you. Correct.
Like, it was just a fucking mess. And my parents were begging me to not compete. You need to just give yourself time. But I also felt so much less of a human being when I wasn't competing because my value for so long had ridden on competing. And I was almost just a meal ticket for my coach because when I wasn't competing, she didn't have the weekly income from me, and she pushed and pushed and pushed, man. Like, and then one day we were like 4 weeks out from IFBB, and I was on 700 calories. I was still 8 kilos away from stage weight. My weight had dropped in like 10 weeks. It was the most bizarre, like that was an anomaly in itself. How you could be on such low calories, keto diet, high cardio, and your weight hasn't moved for 10 weeks. Like, it was actually mind fucking blowing.
Yeah,
like it beats science.
Science did it though.
Like,
antidepressants.
Yeah.
Also just a lot of things.
But what had happened was every time I started a new prep,
I'm not angry with anyone or her or anybody. What I'm saying is, it's a whole different kettle of fish. I think, especially when you spoke to Troy, you said what you were on, and he said we can work with that. He also knew there was a science behind that as well. There was a way to do it.
Troy, when I wanted to go compete in the pro show in Japan, was probably him and my partner. They both said, we really don't want you competing in the pro show. And I was like, why? It's just 5 more weeks. And Troy was like, you're pushing it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you're capable of doing it.
But you're in that push mode
But
now.
that's what he said. He
mentally.
goes, you know, sometimes you take it too far. He goes, right now, you love competing.
Yeah.
5 more weeks, you might be tired of it. He goes, I don't want you entering your
blow you out of it.
Yeah, your pro experience and journey tired of competing. And he was like, this could be your last holiday. He was like, your partner deserves to have his girlfriend back. Like you know, and even the same thing happened this year. I thought I was going to be competing this year, and Troy felt strongly about me taking a year off, number one, so we could grow. That was a large portion, but also he was like, you just need to be a human being. He was like, you need to enjoy time with your friends. He was like, this sport as a pro, you're in it for the long haul. You've got 10 years ahead of you to get to Olympia. And he was like, if you continue to push and push and push, you're going to burn yourself out. And you're going to be one of those pros that do one circuit and you never see him again.
Well, the thing is, this what I've learned with the podcast and talking to girls. I mean, girls are missing periods. Girls are not menstruating correctly. So
with my ex-coach, I lost my period for about 2 years.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say is, and you talk about meal tickets. This industry, you can be a meal ticket to anyone. That's why I look at this industry carefully, because I'm in business. Like I said, there's a difference. Business is above everything. Doesn't matter what you do, there's business mind. What you do inside, you can be unscrupulous, you can be whatever. And when I look at how people treat people and the meal ticket, like you said, I told you I did a personal training course when I was in my early 20s. Think about it. That's 30 years ago. The one thing the coaches said, and the course was $500 for 3 days, 4 days. Right. That's all it was. And personal trainers weren't even on. No one wanted them. I just did it. But the one thing the coach says is, you train people to let you go. You send them on their way. You don't keep them. And their recommendation is that you got them results and they come and get you to go get results, and then you let them go, and that compounds.
that you don't need. It's kind of like letting that person grow, come back and see me when you need me, but right now you're in a good place.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm assuming being Troy so successful, that's what his success is.
But what is fascinating is Troy's obviously fucking good at business.
Yeah,
like that's objectively, like you look at what he's created, but I don't get that vibe.
No.
I get the vibe that Troy doesn't need my business. Whether I'm on his team or not, he will still be able to pay his bills. He will still be able to have girls compete. He doesn't need my money. What is my weekly payments making a difference to him? I don't get that vibe from him that he's desperate to have me on his team because he needs to meet bills and he has this and that. Like and it's almost like a like contradictory in itself that it's like my ex-coach needed me.
Well, I'm gonna say it in this way, even with our podcast. For us to be popular, I can't be popular with you.
Yeah.
Meaning, I need a lot of you to make Muscle Talks popular. But a podcast can make you popular because you're the star. So everyone's going to wonder, what does Phillipa know? Why is she on a podcast? She must be an expert. But for us, we've got to look at a lot of bodybuilders. So we need a little bit from a lot. So in the coffee game, let's just say I try to keep my coffee account, but I can't retire on them. I can't even raise the prices. So if I make $5 on them, I need to get 100 clients to make $500 a week. Or is it 50? I make 5,000. That's the name of the game. So Troy, same thing. He can't. He needs you in his business, but you're not the only one for his business. He's got to run a business, and he's got to have many Philippas, different pricing categories, different styles of athletes to make that success. It's not just, that's business. So like I said to you, you can't hang on to one person or else your business is going to collapse.
But I think Troy's personability and his humility.
I want to learn off him.
Generosity as well.
Yeah, you have to.
With girls, and you see, he girls will ask, how much is your coaching a week? And they'll ask questions on his NGLs. And he's like, if you're struggling for money, please reach out and we see if we can talk. Like, you see that. People love to have an opinion, but it's like once you get to know who Troy really is, I don't get the vibe that he needs my business because of how much he's willing to give and extra time he takes to give you a call and extra advice that he's giving me about my dad or my mum that he really doesn't need to be giving me.
It's
like
every book I've read, every success book is the free stuff. There's nothing balances out. He can make $1,000 a week and he's probably given 2,000 worth of goods out there, and that's how it works. So whatever you want to make, you have to double it in giving. It's like that. 26th of December 2023, I always underestimated how difficult post-show can be. So here are 3 things I like to remind myself of. My weight does not determine my value. Every season serves a purpose. My body has done so much for me, it deserves to be loved. And I'm going to ask you, did you have any post-comp blues?
Yeah, it was definitely like girls, you see girls and they're like, I love my off-season shape. I'm like, bro, I love being shredded. That shit's fun as.
Is it?
I love being, it feels like.
It's been a while since I've been shredded.
Feels like shit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's mad.
It is.
You're doing what no one else can do. And you're walking around getting the validation and comment. Like, you look at someone like that
Well,
and
you're
it's...
looking at yourself, you look at your arm
Yeah.
and you go, Jesus, God, look at that.
So I love being shredded. So many girls are like, I hate how I look when I'm shredded. I'm like, bro, I look gun. This is fun. This is mad.
I love it too.
And obviously, when I did ICN, you never got that lean. So coming out of show,
Why?
it's just the category. It's just not required of you. And so when you'd see your body change post-show, there wasn't like a huge amount of difference. Whereas seeing how quickly your body changes when you're that lean, it's almost like a rude shock. And then I feel
From
like...
that to that.
Yeah. Like
Post. We're talking about post.
Yeah, you eat burger, you wake up the next morning with 10,000 more veins. And then you eat, I don't know, you drink a heap of water and you wake up like a little balloon the next day. Like day to day.
Oh, yeah.
Day to day. And I felt like turning pro, there was this expectation that you need to stay within 3 or 4 kilos of stage weight. And now I'm a pro athlete and I have to stay lean year round. And I left the comp going home going, you know, this is my job now. I have a responsibility to look a certain way. There was pressure.
A lot of it.
And I guess I was just really, really stressed about people judging me, because my closest friends knew me when I was at my heaviest. So even now, they're like, this is Slim Phil. Like, I was 10 kilos heavier than this at one point, right? So they've seen my weight yo-yo, like from 84, I think I was my heaviest, and stage weight, I was 58. So like literally 25 kilos difference, right? And they have loved me in every phase. My best friends have always said, we couldn't give a shit whether you're 84 kilos or whether you're 58. It makes no difference to us. That's not why.
You've got good friends.
I've got probably the best friends around me that I could ever ask for, unmatched. And that's not a biased opinion. No. Whereas personally, I felt like, you know, you get more attention, you get more followers, you stand out more when you're ripped. So you kind of, your metrics to which you measure your value kind of shifts to the way you look. And that's natural. I'm in an industry and a sport where you're literally judged on how you look. I can't complain about that. I'm subjecting myself to that. But it takes a lot to do the mental work to remind yourself that, yes, other people that don't know me can definitely say, oh, she's only interesting when she's lean. They're entitled to that opinion because I've put that out there. But my value is not derivative of that. And anyone worth knowing and anyone important in my life also knows that.
I'll tell you a funny story. Chris will know this as well. We've had a range of people on this podcast, and we do look at it sometimes going, oh my God, they got like 140 people on Instagram. It's bound to grow our socials as well. And then we look at them and they're on TikTok. I'm going to give you an example quickly. We had someone on, they had 145,000 on IG and 1 million on TikTok. And wait a minute. And then we had Matthew Winus, 800 people on Instagram, 800, and no one on TikTok. And he's passed that person 3 times on YouTube.
No way.
3 times. He's more popular. He's going to hit second place on our most populars. Yeah.
Fascinating.
My housing commission does train. Only did 1 comp, did WBFF, and nearly died because he dehydrated too far and the ambulance had to come, or they did over the phone. They don't know that. He just didn't go back. He went, he trained, he looked good, but he blew himself out. And his coach said, your day, your comp is over. And he accepted it. But what I'm trying to say to you is 800 followers on IG, that's it. Just recently got IG. He's a painter. Painter and decorator, paints houses. Got a great body, hasn't he, Chris? Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to exceed. He's at 4th place. I think he's going to exceed by the end of next week 3rd place. It would be 3rd most popular podcast out of 34 podcasts. What happened to the person who's got 1 million and the person 145? You know why? Because I'm just going to tell you, they're into themselves. When you're into yourself,
there's not a lot to offer.
And you can have the numbers, you make no money. It's not the numbers that you're seeing. It's how you market and business yourself. So when I have people coming on, trust me, man, I didn't. Sure, I see their IG and their story. When Matthew told me his story, Housing Commission, Campbelltown riots. I don't think he was abused, but I've heard people tell me their child was abused. They're on. Let's go. Let's talk bodybuilding. Bodybuilding saved your life. Bodybuilding helped you. And I'm just fascinated. So for me, it's not about one person that's going to make me make it. It's an array of stories and different people. So I appreciate the person with the 1 million on TikTok, and I appreciate that. But what I've realised is like Chris is looking at his phone. That's how we look. We just
Yeah.
go, all right, who's next? What are we
Yeah.
doing next? How do we build a business? What are we doing? What are we doing wrong? Like, it's never about the numbers and you're going to make me famous. Collaboration, we're just dying for someone to collaborate with us
Yeah.
to grow and both of us to kick it out of the ballpark. But I know, let them listen. Do you know how many people edit us out of the podcast to make it like they're sitting in a room by themselves? They won't even have me ask them the question. Honestly, and we know it's our podcast. They just sit there going, they'll go, yeah, they go like, yeah, on my diet and I do this and the way I train. And I'm going to Chris, they won't even mention that they got that question from me. But, and one person actually sent us something to collaborate with. And I said, you can do this on your own phone. Why are you sending it to me? I'm not going to collab it. You're not even letting me go like this. Okay. I'm not like,
That's so funny.
but that's what it is like.
Yeah.
That's why this industry is quite funny because 5% are making. I already know who's going to work with us when they work with us, but it's like I said, that's business. I guess that's what I'm trying to say to you. But I want to ask, because we were talking about value. So how are you with it? You have value?
Yeah.
That's one. 2, purpose.
Yeah.
And 3, loved.
Very.
Very good. But I think that's very important. All right. Japan, how was it? You just went to Japan, didn't you?
It was so good.
Was it good? Did you go to Japan with her? Bastards.
It was really good.
Where does everyone find the money to go on holidays? Find them, they're going.
Japan's cheap as.
Is it?
Yeah. That's where you go if you don't have
Actually,
money.
Matt, King Body's Matt, that guy we had on the podcast, that one season.
Yeah. I know Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. He was on our podcast.
Yeah,
I forgot his
gun.
surname. He's a gun too. You guys, what an end of year IFBB thing it was. It was smashing. And actually, it was his first IFBB show too. When's his podcast being launched? Probably not a week or 2. Yeah. So how was Japan?
It was really, really good.
I saw the food was back.
Yeah.
Food was back.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
I can't remember, like, we were over there and we got drunk for the first time together, and we'd been together for over a year, but I'd been in prep the whole time. Wow. So it's like there were so many firsts for us as a couple.
I'm going to laugh my head off.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being drunk with your partner. Mate.
Yeah, like our
It's unreal.
random shit. Like, I was like, I'm so excited to be hungover with you.
Oh,
Because, like, I didn't know what it was like to wake up the next day and, like, lie in bed, be like, oh, my God, let's get Macca's. Like, we're so hungry. Like, just really normal things that he deserved, I deserved. And it was also really cool to go and watch the pro show and sit from an audience
Oh, you did
point
that as
of
well.
view.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't flick enough through it.
Yeah.
But I didn't see. I saw some of your highlights, but I saw food was back. That was good to see.
Yeah.
You'd love a fair with food.
The food was, I would actually go back just to Japan for the convenience stores. Oh my God.
No, I love it.
If you know, you know. And if you don't, I'm so sorry.
So tell me about the pro show though. Give us.
I spent the whole time crying.
Why?
Because that was the first time it said in that I turned pro. I was like watching and the production.
In Japan?
Yeah, in Japan.
That made you cry.
Yeah. Like, turning pro was just such a surreal thing. And everyone kept asking me, how does it feel? How does it feel? You've turned pro. And it was like, I literally feel exactly how I did yesterday. Like, I'm the same Phillipa. I just have a trophy in my house. Like, I don't know. Everyone kept asking. And it was like, the achievement was never, or like the meaningfulness of the achievement was never derivative of an external outcome, the trophy. It was, I'd stepped on stage and I couldn't have done a single thing more. I'd literally, to the T, brought my best package. So it's like I was already feeling successful and like a winner before stepping on stage. Those feelings I was already experiencing days before, weeks before. So the winning the pro card and the undefeated, all that hoo-ha, it was very surreal. I hadn't given a whole lot of attention to it, and it was just like all of a sudden I've got followers and people messaging me. It's like, it was bizarre. It's like, why do people care? Like, I'm literally just little old me. Like, it didn't feel real. And then I went and saw a pro show and I spent the whole show crying because it was like, oh my God, it's not, I wasn't watching going, one day that'll be me. Like, that is me. I'm in that caliber of athlete. Not one day I'll win my pro card and I'm going to make it to that stage. Like, I literally was sitting there going, I can walk up to these girls and go, hey, how are you? I'm going to be competing against you next year. Like, I'm on their level. They might be way more experienced. They might have more followers or been in the game longer or older. I get that. But when it comes down to it, I'm a pro athlete. Like, it was just the most exciting thing I've ever experienced. I was like, oh my God, I was bawling my eyes out the whole time.
Maybe as well, I'm thinking, I think you like, as Ruby, sassy, sometimes you people are just meant for the stage.
Yeah.
I
The
think-
production.
I think with me, I think maybe us three in the room, I think it's daunting, overwhelming, and sometimes we've got to go deep to find fire to get us there. Like, it's got to be so different where you're like...
Nah, the stage is the easy part.
That's what I'm
I walk
saying is I
out
see
and
it.
I'm like, hi, everyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is Ruby as well. It's like the stage. I always know because I always go to Ruby, you know, how you feeling? She goes, she'll always come to me. She goes, she knows what I'm going to say. She goes, Dad, I'm really nervous. Okay, that means you're ready. She goes, yes, I'm ready. I said, right, go have a good time. And as soon as that curtain and the first, I always know her voice when it starts, and then it's like, all right, now she's about to separate the room. Like, we are going to get the hit.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, when the bomb goes off and then the aftermath.
Yeah.
That's how it is with you people.
Yeah.
Open question now. We're going into another topic, like a bit like not bodybuilding.
Okay.
I'm putting 3 topics.
Here we go.
Are you concerned about a cashless society? Digital currency, because me, I don't know it. I mean, you guys are experiencing it. Possibly the bank's controlling your money. And how do you feel about when you go pull out money at the bank and they ask you, what do you want your money for?
Bro, my boyfriend's pissing himself. I couldn't give a shit about this stuff.
She can't give a shit about it.
Oh.
No, but that's okay. She shouldn't talk about it. I've got a
No,
big
do you want to
socket
know? Do you want to know why?
Why?
He's a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, okay.
The government's against
Are you
you.
conspiracy
Do you see?
Yeah.
Do you see that tree? It was planted there to spy on you. Like, the most. Katy,
Makes it look like an absolute
Katy
psycho.
Perry's a robot. She died 10 years ago.
Oh my God,
like,
the cops are going to
just-
hit the doors now. We're going to get...
Like, the most bizarre.
Britney Spears, she's a clone.
9/11 never happened, and it was planned by the government, and like, it just.
All right, bring Alex on. I'd love to talk to Alex.
He tries to indoctrinate.
Indoctrinate. Far out, now we can't say the
Fuck
word.
Me, it's a stupid word anyway. He tries
Indoctrinate.
to indoctrinate me.
Got it out.
And it comes down to that ignorance is bliss. I'm like, bro, the government aren't against us. Just live your life. Stop
are.
stressing, man.
I believe they are.
Just
Alex
stop
is
stressing,
right.
bro.
Go, Alex. I'm pro Alex.
Cashless society.
Alex.
Who the fuck has cash these days? Why would you
Alex.
need cash? Like, that's mad. That's great. Like,
Well, yes. I think I understand where you're coming from, and now I understand where Alex is. Because last night I was telling my girlfriend over the phone something about Tucker Carlson interviewing the Russian president, and I was talking about how amazing this is and some of the questions he asked, and she goes, I don't know, we had to shift the subject because
I think maybe my
just didn't
brain.
wanna hear it.
Yeah, I'm balancing.
or maybe she did.
Dancing, I'm balancing law, I'm balancing tracking food, I'm balancing the gym, I'm balancing a householder, like, I'm balancing being female and hormone. Like, my brain has zero room nor fucks to give about all these.
That's why Alex is
Theories.
Alex is protecting you, man.
Yeah.
He's protecting you. Don't you know
He's
that?
like, you don't. He says you're not curious.
The men in
enough.
black, when they come, he kills them, and you don't even know it.
He
You're not
goes-
paying attention.
He goes, you don't question the world enough. I go, the world's working perfectly fine.
Yeah, no,
Like, my life has been incredible. Why do I need to question? He's like, it's not working fine. If you read the newspaper, you know that this is going on. I'm like,
Oh my
ignorance
God.
is
We
bliss.
we should switch the cameras over to Alex and Phillipa. I think we'll score some big ratings. I think a good podcast. We do the Alex and Phillipa show. We could start a new podcast. All right, yep, you're a professional dancer. Oh, I didn't print that off. It says print it off. Oh, no, you didn't see it. It says print off. That's it. Anyway, forget about it. ICN 2021. New South Wales overall bikini comp. Then ICN Worldwide National Bikini Pro card. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that time.
was fun.
Yeah.
ICN, I don't think it was a great stepping stone, and it was a great way to be introduced to bodybuilding. IFBB, it's interesting because I'd only ever done the one federation, ICN. You hear about girls when they're like, I just knew that federation was for me. And I thought,
But that could be that.
yeah. And I was like, I wonder if I'll feel that with IFBB, or if I'll go to WBFF, like Samantha Wicks. I know she was a well-known IFBB veteran, and then she did one random WBFF show and made the switch instantly. She was like, I'd never go back and do IFBB.
All right, yeah.
So that's what I wondered if I'd experienced.
I see the shows
that.
and wonder, and I've done no shows, and I wonder why does everyone resonate to a certain division?
Federation. And
Federation, yes.
I did ICN and I liked it. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was a great introduction, but
Most people start there.
yes, because it's like it's a lot less. It's smaller. I think it is worldwide, but like it's not.
No, it's big. It's big.
Is
It's
it?
big. It is big.
See, that's what I mean. IFBB is like the biggest international federation you can get, whereas ICN, it might be international, but it's really like not.
I think the thing is with IFBB, and I think in America it's different because America has shows going on every weekend.
Yes.
America's a Grand Prix in itself. So you can do, let's say, Jay Cutler's show, and Jay Cutler's show can still get you to compete in IFBB. Like, I don't think they cut you off. In Australia, it's like...
You have to
you're
work your
cut
way
off.
through that part.
We're not going to have both your cards. You're not allowed to go do this, you're not allowed to go do that. You surrender your cards. But I think because IFBB Pro, because there's two IFBBs, Pro is the ticket to Olympia. So either you want that or you just want your personal recognition, your trophies, because it looks great when you've got a lot of competitions. But if you want to go to Olympia.
Yeah.
And I think from watching, I sit back in the crowd and watched a few. I have to say, I'm not saying one's better than the other, hear me out, because I want to get some of the organisers on here to talk to them. ICN, Tony Dale. I'd like to.
I mean, I do think
But I
it's
think
fair
Tony-
to say that IFBB is better than ICN.
But I'm not going to say it. The reason I'm not going to say it is, but what I do say...
Controversial.
No, because you've competed, you can say that. But what I've heard and what I see with IFBB is Tony runs it like a clock. He's very professional in what he does. And I think that I can understand watching him. I don't think, he can correct me if I'm wrong. It's in business, it's not about making friends. It's about the fans. It's about the entertainment. You're an entertainer. You know that. You're on stage entertaining the people that bought their tickets. They bought tickets to see a show, and you're coming out with your body through your comp prep to show off the show, and they're hoping out there they choose the right winner.
I think if you look at how
I think
big,
Tony does a good job at
yeah,
that.
IFBB is compared to ICN. There's a reason why IFBB Pro is so successful. It's a much higher caliber of athletes.
But I think that's the way they run it that allows the athletes who are professional to have unison.
Yeah. ICN was great, don't get me wrong. Like it's a great way to start. I couldn't imagine going to IFBB just for my first comp straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Which some girls do. But IFBB, I definitely I felt connected to the judges when I was on stage. I loved Tony. I loved how the federation was run, the backstage helpers, the other pros and the girls, in just everything about it. I felt like I belonged in IFBB, and it was like I want to go on podcasts and be a little IFBB princess and just promote it because I had such a great positive experience. I want other girls to be able to experience what I experienced.
I think, like I said, I'll be honest with you, you can do posts, but not just my podcast, the more podcasts you do, and in a sense, don't throw yourself into podcasts that you think you shouldn't throw yourself into, meaning, but going on a podcast, this content no one gets. This is 2 hours worth of you. If someone's going to invest in you, they're going to say, I've watched this podcast, that's her socials, I'm going to become a follower, and I'm going to ask for her services. So no one understands the power of having all this, because it is about you. It's not about Steve. I mean, I've got nothing to offer except a podcast, really, and some protein powder and a cookbook at the moment, but we've got more coming. With all the comps you've done,
has been your favourite, so I'm thinking the IFBB has been your favourite.
Yeah.
The sweetest? It can be the same, I'm just asking.
IFBB.
Yep. And the one you didn't think you'd win?
IFBB.
Okay, well, there you
Definitely.
go. Growing up, and obviously you wanted to be a dancer. Did you know you wanted to be a dancer from day dot? Okay, so there's
Yeah.
no asking you, what did you want to be when you grow up?
No, it was always dance.
What did you want to be, Alex, when you were young?
A dinosaur.
Dig up dinosaurs, but that's all I want to do.
Really?
No, he wanted to be a dinosaur.
Well, that comes with it. If
Oh,
you
those
pick
people,
one,
what do they call them?
paleontologist.
What?
Paleontologist.
You want to be that? What about you, Chris? Oh, you want to be... Chris wanted to be a YouTuber. That's why we're YouTubing. He did. He wants to be Mr. Beast. Ask him.
Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
when you're successful, you can...
Yeah,
You can
he
give
wants
me
to be
your
Mr.
energy
Beast.
drinks.
I'm in the right place with him. I just put the pedal down and sometimes he's like rolling his eyes, but that's it. We have a funny story. Chris goes to me with an idea. Chris goes, this is what we're going to do. And I go, let's do it. Well, this is what I've put together. I said, let's do it. I go to Chris, I've got an idea. He goes, yeah, let me think about it. Oh, I got this. Let me think about it. So, what did we say you are compared to me? We said something. You are a realist.
Yeah.
Chris is a realist. He is. And he's also stoic. And he's ripped, by the way. He's ripped. Chivalry. Oh, yeah, this is out of the question thing. Going back to like a thing.
Random, okay.
Yeah, random questions. Chivalry. Is it still alive? And do women still like it, want it? And what part of chivalry should never be lost?
I think it's hanging on by a thread.
Oh, okay.
It's alive.
Are you listening, boys?
Yeah, it's definitely alive. I think in this generation, it's really hard to be chivalrous to a woman when you're behind a screen. There isn't the active...
That's one.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm going to give a bit more. But what about the ones that think they can get their own flowers?
You can get your own flowers.
But
So can a man also get you flowers. Just because a man's buying you flowers doesn't mean you can't go and buy your own.
no, but I'm talking
Why
about...
can't you have 2 bunches of flowers?
Some don't. Some will think...
No, but
that's what I'm
that's-
saying is some think I don't need
So
his flowers.
you've got
So chivalry.
You've got toxic masculinity where a man, I think it's oh God forbid I even bring this up, we're going to get like red flags or something, Andrew Tate lines where it's like he will go on and say about how he wants to provide and this and that, and boys hear it and think that's great, but
I question some of the things Tate says.
From a female point of view, you're saying you want to provide and you never want the woman to work and this and that, but what happens when she turns around and says, no, I don't want to do that, and you say, okay, well, I'm not going to pay for your house. So then it's like there's that toxic masculinity where it's like he's pulling strings and plugs, saying he'll provide for you and this and that. But the moment you don't want to do something he says, he can pull the rug out from under you. So you've got that. But then I also think you've got like toxic femininity.
But no,
where
just go with that. I think he's just got to copy and paste with everything. I've seen him debate and...
I'm not even going to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him. I'm not going to give him a platform. Anyway,
That's all right, I'm just wondering. But
toxic,
I get some of it, but I see him start up. But go ahead.
You've got toxic femininity where
We're going to be in trouble.
there's females that are in their masculine energy. I don't need you to provide for me. I'm independent. I can do, and that's me, 100%. That's me, to my detriment. Where I think that there needs to be that happy medium that a guy can provide for you. They don't need to, but it's also not a bad thing that you want a man to provide for you. That it's not a bad thing that you want a man to buy you flowers. It doesn't make you any less pro women because you want a man to buy you fucking flowers. It doesn't make you any less progressive in women's rights and equal pay and really serious issues because you want a man to open your car door.
I think it's great.
I think the problem is not necessarily chivalry or feminine energy or masculine energy or anything like that. I think it's when it's in the extreme. It's the same thing with religion. There's nothing wrong with religion. It's when you've got extremists. It's the same thing with vegans, with climate. It's anything extreme is dangerous to a certain degree. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a feminist as long as it doesn't require you to like actively shit on men. That's not a quality. That's just trying to bring the other gender down. That's not what feminine...
Is chivalry still alive?
Yeah, I think it is, but I think it's just not... Well, I answered that at the start. It's hanging on by thread.
Yeah, but why? Why? Like I said, and you said behind screens. What I'm saying is it both sides? That's why it's dying, or is it one side that it's dying? For me, I'll give you an example. I think I've learned chivalry through watching guys that have got chivalry, and I admire them. I think they're very strong, but I also see that the relationship between the two parties seem to work seamlessly. Like it just seems. No one's thinking here. It's just happening. I'll give you an example. I like to walk on the outside of the curb for a woman.
And he does the same.
Oh, good on you, Alex. And the thing is, sometimes we don't register. When we do, you'll see us do it abruptly because we want to still, because it's a fight to stay chivalry. It's work.
It's an active decision.
That's what I'm saying. And I tried, and it's really great to hear that. But that's what I'm saying is, but sometimes some people say they don't want it. You know what I mean? And that it seems defeating sometimes in ourselves because if you're a person that wants to walk on the outside of the curb to protect the woman.
I can understand a female being like, I don't want it, I don't need it, da da da. But I also am like, I'm secure in myself enough to know that I don't need you to walk on the outside of the curb, but it doesn't mean I don't want you to.
Okay.
I don't need you to buy me flowers, but it doesn't mean that I don't want you to. If you're not here, I can go and buy my own. But if you're here, why not buy them?
Yeah. Well, I'm just. I guess my question.
I don't need to axe men in order to reassure myself that I'm independent and I'm a strong female. I know that whether a guy's buying me flowers or not, whether a guy's walking on the curb or not.
So again, then I'll finish with this. Would you still like to see chivalry in the world?
100%.
Okay, that's a good answer because that's what I like. All your answers, but what I'm alluding to is. I think there's those that don't want to give it, and then there's those that can damn it. But it's nice to know.
There's a reason why there's masculine and feminine energy.
Yes.
Yin and yang.
Yes.
You can't just eradicate one and expect the world to continue to move. They work like simultaneously with each other, and I think girls do to their detriment. And I know that I'm 100% part of this team, move into their masculine energy, and it can be really off-putting for a guy to meet a girl that's like coming across, because I was like that. He was like, bro, this chick is one tough motherfucker. Like it took me so long to like allow myself to let him do things. He's like, do you want me to do your washing? No. Do you want me to empty the dish? No. Like now I'm like, yeah, please. And it's like, I can switch my brain off when I'm with you. I can not have to look when I cross the road because you're doing it for me. Like, it's nice to relax, you know? I think you need both.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with you, but like I said, these are just off-topic questions that create a great debate. And we only introduced it, I've introduced it because I wrote the script. I said to Chris, for 2024, we never had these questions. It was just bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So we thought 3 questions, like a philosophical question, and 2... could throw the podcast under a bus.
Yeah, literally, I want to get cancelled.
Are you fat up or fed up? Tired of boring food? We just cooked this from our What Should I Eat cookbook. It's also on an ebook, making it more affordable for you. So, get your copy at threeog.shop.
All right, we're going to go over the body. Okay?
Okay.
No, we're going to talk about the body. We're going
Okay.
to go. So I'm going to give you an exercise. No. Get out of chivalry, get out of the... Because I could see you're stunned. Look, we're going to go over the body. We're going to go over the body in relation to an exercise.
Yeah.
Sets and reps. Does that make sense? Mm. So I'm going to give you an example. If I say bicep, if you asked me bicep, I'd say spider curls. 3 sets of 12.
Okay.
Right? So we're not going to say if you don't train something, just say no, because I say the same thing. I don't want to differentiate between male and female. So my first question is, do you train traps?
No. I used to be a competitive swimmer, and butterfly was what I did, so that's why my traps are massive.
Well, that's why you got bloody also big shoulders. Yeah. Okay. Let's go with delts. Side delt. Give us an exercise, sets and reps. And I'm going to continually saying sets and reps exercise.
Lateral raise.
Yep.
with the 3 second hold at the top of the contraction.
Right.
8 to 10 reps, 7 sets with a drop set at the end.
7.
Yeah, so 8 sets in total.
I've never heard that one before.
Shout out Troy Thornton,
Yeah, Troy.
dickhead.
Oh, wow.
That shit hurts.
Yeah, that's why I said,
Sucks ass.
wow. 7 sets. And holding it up
With
the
a
top,
30 to 45
sec.
second rest, yeah.
Wow, he really got you there. Yeah, that's a good one. We've never heard that one. I'm stunned. I'm trying to work that one out. Front sets.
Cable raises with a rope attachment, like front raises.
Yes.
With a 3 second hold at the top, I would go 8 to 10 reps on that as well, 7 sets. Yeah.
He scares
Same,
me, that
yeah.
coach. That coach scares me now. I was going to give him a call. Rear delts.
I rarely train rear delts. They're naturally great, but I probably do reverse pec deck machine. I don't like face pulls. They just don't do it for me.
Yeah, I've never really.
I can't
engage.
No, I'm literally like, what is it working again?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm the same.
reverse pec deck, 12 reps, 4 sets with a drop set.
Okay. Back.
I also rarely train back as well. I would probably say single arm high cable row, 8 to 10 reps, 4 sets.
Okay. Well, you're doing
You
great.
can go heavy on those and just slow it down. Yeah.
Chest.
I
Okay.
can't remember chest used to be one of my favorite things. Like I used to bench press upwards of 60 kilos.
You're a beast. Oh, like I said, when I saw your squats and your RDLs, but especially your squats, they're not normal. Like I said, and also how low you went. I could see where you. I'm not saying I could see where you struggled, because I think you said something. Did you? It's yours. You said you're too scared to do any more. I think you were supposed to do 2.
because I didn't have a guy spotting me. I literally was just walking into the gym by myself and just having fun with it. So there does get to a point where you've got
You've got to have some
110 kilos on you and it kind of becomes scary to drop. Yeah, deadlifting, I was deadlifting like 140, 150, and then bench, I think my PR was maybe like 62 kilos for 1 rep max, but I haven't trained chest in like over a year. Sad.
Wow. Did you also do some like power lifts, deadlifts? Did you do? I'm just trying to think if I saw it on your post.
Like competitively?
Yeah, not competitively, but in the gym, like.
Yeah. Deadlifting. So if it was a regular deadlift, I think
saw you. That's right, because I saw some massive deadlifts
my
going on.
regular deadlift maybe like 130.
Wow, that's pretty big. I think.
But a sumo, I think probably more upwards of like 150. Obviously sumo's a much shorter range of motion.
Do you deadlift?
No, I've got my flexibility in my ankles isn't that good, so I can't get too low. Like I can lift the weight, but it's just not clean.
Have you got a weight you've lifted?
Probably do like 150, 160.
What about you?
Yeah, 150. 150.
I think my best is, and I'll let you know, it was 2 years ago, is I don't know if it's 165 or 175.
Well,
But my son, because he's competitive and wants to beat me up, I think he did 10 kilos less. In other words, he was Yanni, like a 155 that was 16.
leg press
But he's
during
aggressive. Like he wanted to just bash me.
leg press during prep, I was
I've
doing
got it on video. I can show you.
3 sets of 15 reps, and then on the drop set, like on the last set, it would be a rest pause. So I rest for 10, and then I'd pump out probably another 10. So 25 reps, right? And I was pushing 240 in prep. Now I'm up to like 260, 300.
Are you good at arm wrestling?
No, I'm actually not.
Well, you look like you can.
Yeah,
give us a
weirdly
run for
enough,
money.
yeah.
You look like you. Well, that was. We said chest. You don't do papon. Bicep.
Don't train
Papon.
biceps.
Tricep.
Don't train triceps.
Papon. Abs.
Not many people train abs. Yeah, I've been very surprised by that.
I feel like you should
Even though
be
you trim
using
up.
them in every exercise.
I get
are you
it. I
training
get
them
it.
directly?
But it just surprised me.
And also for bikini girls, a lot of it comes down to avoiding any chance of thickening your waist.
I heard about that. And I've
Yeah.
also heard that about now classic physique, people in classic, and also men's
Can
physique.
interfere with your taper massively.
But a lot of people are practicing breathing, the suction or vacuuming.
Yeah,
Vacuuming, that's one.
Yeah,
A lot of people are doing vacuum.
yeah.
A lot
Never
of
done
that's
one in my life.
never
But
done
if that's your style,
no, never. Quads.
probably a lunge or a leg press for me. I'm very quad dominant though, so like obviously if you're trying to stimulate just the quads, I'd go like a leg extension. But because I'm quad dominant in every movement, I'd probably do a lunge or a leg press and probably around 12 reps, 3 sets with a rest pause at the end.
I seem to be doing a lot of 4 sets with quads and back because I feel like they're so big. That's what I feel. They're all like 4 sets, even hammies. Hammies? Do you train hammies?
I do lying hamstring curls now for the first time in maybe like a year. Just
Really?
Once a week.
How
This
is
was
that?
another thing. Is like I when I was
Lying hamstring is an oldie but a goodie.
it's a staple.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
what I'm saying.
the basics
it's been around
work
for, yeah,
the
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
best.
that's all we knew.
I would honestly do an RDL before I do a hamstring curl because it also hits your glutes at the same time.
See, I face pulls.
Yeah.
When I do RDLs, I'm thinking, what does this do? That's how I feel.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I do it sometimes, but when I do lying hamstring curls, standing hamstring curls, the one where you lean and you,
Yeah.
and seated hamstring curls, I'm on cloud 9. When I do RDLs, I'm like, huh?
Do them on the Smith machine.
I've done, all right. But I mean, I've done them on different things, but honestly, I keep thinking to myself, isn't this just a deadlift? Which it kind of is, but it's not. But I do feel like
Because a deadlift,
personally, I feel like it's what face pulls.
A deadlift, the momentum is you're driving the floor away from you, whereas an RDL you're driving your ass backwards. It's like my when I'm deadlifting, I'm not lifting with my body. I'm imagining the floor's lowering.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine this is the floor and like my feet are here. I'm imagining this is what's happening, not I'm lifting. But when I'm RDLing, there's no energy going into the floor. My energy's going backwards, like different cues.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying what you said.
Yeah.
I have tried to engage.
But everyone's body's different. It just depends.
I think when you're doing the RDLs, I think there's got to be a sense of engagement. I think it seems so simple. It looks simple.
Muscle-mind connection needs
But I
to be
think the
strong.
bit you said about, I think I probably get bored and I forget to push my ass back. And that's what I'm saying, like face pulls, you just go, what's he doing? When I do IDLs, I just like 9, 10, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I think I've just done it, but I haven't engaged in the exercise. Do you think men should stop doing hip thrust?
Fuck no.
All right,
Do you
I
want
don't
a
know. It
bunda?
looks very feminine to me. Looks a bit gay.
Does it? What does gay look like though?
Hip thrust.
It's
What do you
weird
reckon, Alex?
because I do a whole lot of hip
Yeah, I
thrusts
think
and
you know
I'm
where
pretty
I'm going with
straight.
I do it, but I feel a bit zesty when I do it.
Yeah, there you go. Come on. Yeah, now they're admitting it.
But having a nice
Do
butt
you?
is good for a guy.
No, but come on. How do you feel when you're doing it? You're hoping no one's looking at you.
100%.
Yeah, there you go. It's just a guy thing. I'm telling you. When I do hip thrust, I'm like,
But do you know what's weird is that like a lot of females do it.
No,
and
of course.
we're straight.
no, it's not. It's not.
So does it look gay or does it look feminine?
No,
Both.
for a guy,
No, it's a guy.
Because gender and sexuality are two very different
Well,
things.
this is another. This podcast's not going to finish because. All right, let's get back into another side topic. No, the thing is, when I say the word gay, good to pull me up about that because I have no problem with the gay community, but the white community is a different story. But the thing is, when we say gay as guys, that's kind of like another word for feminine. I think. Like I'm saying is. Zesty, or the word zesty. So in other words, I see girls and hip thruster was designed for girls. That's where it started from, right? That's kind of it originated from, in a sense. And when I do it, it's kind of like, is anyone around watching while I do this? And when I do it, I feel it is a bit. All right, the word I'm really looking for is feminine.
It's like watching a girl bench press.
Yeah.
It's a bit too masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why.
We'll
I've
just
never-
rephrase that. You feel feminine doing
All
it.
right. Yeah, no, I'm phrasing it back. I'll let Alex deal with you later, not me. I'll send you up with Alex. That's okay, Alex. Stick with Zesty. And Zesty is feminine. But yeah, I've never asked that question, but I thought I'd ask because we've got the boys in the room and they all agree. So they all sat there quietly.
And
They
I'm
got
so
scared.
sorry.
They sat there quietly until Zesty came out and then Chris goes, yeah, it's Zesty. Yeah,
I'm so
whatever."
sorry, but if you're not hip thrusting, then I can guarantee you ain't hip thrusting in the bedroom. So,
Oh, that is bullshit.
so when I see a guy
Chris,
hip thrusting, I
edit
look
that
at
out
him.
of the video.
When I see a guy hip thrusting, I'm like, yeah, he's going to work on his
No,
woman.
I can-
It's probably the most masculine thing
All
you
right,
could be doing.
I'll tell you
It
something.
makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It does. I'm telling you, I've mastered what it takes. And it's not, I don't want to go into it. And when I say that, it's not, it's far from it. Talk is everything. There's a part in the female you need to grab hold of, well, not physically hold of, and you just work that area, and that has to be muscle memory. It's a
This sounds
connection.
like a guy that doesn't hip thrust, reassuring himself. He's not inadequate in the
Hey,
bedroom.
I didn't say I don't hit. I didn't say zesty. All right, no, I love it. This is going to be a good podcast, but I don't know what the ratings will be. We'll see how we go. Calves. Let's go to calves. Let's segue into calves. Calves.
Never trained him in my life. But have you seen my comp pics? I have fucking massive calves.
Have you got massive calves?
And it's,
Like Chris is genetic. Are you? Are you got?
I
good
have
calves?
huge calves,
Fucking
but
got
it's
calves,
from all the years of tapping
Dancing, tapping.
and ballet rises,
Tap is
being
amazing.
on point. Yeah.
Tap
So I've
is
never trained calves in my life. They looked stupid in my comp. But yeah, I've never actually walked into gym and done a calf raise, just ballet and point and tap.
Okay. So tibialis out of the question.
Yeah.
Tibialis is the front part.
Yeah,
of the
no.
brain.
What? Who,
And
what?
let's go with sensitively, with all sensitivity. Glutes.
Yeah, it's got to be hip thrust, eh?
Yeah.
But on a machine,
Not
I can't
ideal?
hip thrust normally like a barbell. It has to be like some sort of stabilized hip thrust.
Because when I saw your highlight that had all the squats and RDLs, there is one where
I don't
you're
like- yeah, I don't
smashing your RDL. Like I don't know how many plates you had on there. And all right, I'm going to ask, what the hell is that weight women are pushing on a hip thrust? I can't do it. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like, and they seem effortlessly. I do it. I don't like that. I'm doing faces like, and what is it about girls with their hip thrust? Obviously, they're good in bed. Oh, let's find out.
We have fat bundas.
Huh?
We have fat bundas.
Bundas, eh? Is that what it is?
But if you look at a girl's ass and you look at a guy's, like if you look at a male and a female's body, a male has more muscle development along their arms. Of course, they're going to be stronger doing bicep curls, this and that. Very rarely do I see a girl that trains and a dude's ass is bigger than hers.
No, usually never. No.
Do you get me?
Yeah,
Like,
of
when you
course.
look at my partner's bigger than me in all aspects, just naturally from the size he's genetically. But you look at our asses and mine's like yay big and his is like not big. And it's like, of course, why would you be able to lift what I lift in terms of glute training? You don't sit there and train glutes 4 times a week. Like,
All right, so how many sets and reps with the glutes?
with a hip thrust, I
Hip
would
thrust, yeah.
do 8 reps with a 3 to 4 second squeeze at the top, 3 second lower, and I do 3 sets of that and then a double drop set at the end.
Sorry, 3 second hold at the top.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
and really
1,
slow down.
2, 3.
Yeah.
Up 8 reps. It's not about, your body doesn't respond to reps. It responds to fatigue and maximum exhaustion. So it's just as quickly as you can tire your muscle out.
Do you think bodybuilding has reinvigorated and celebrating big butts? Because before the bodybuilding era of girls
No.
coming to compete,
I think Kim
no one
Kardashian
wanted-
has done that.
Oh, Kim Kardashian did it.
If you look at Laura Lee, who's one of the top Olympians, she's literally getting asked to downsize her glutes. They don't want massive glutes. They want proportions.
No.
Fat asses and BBLs. Kim Kardashian, shout out to you, girl.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you that you know yourself, we all know it, that we can see what social media is doing.
But sometimes that's not a masculine butt, meaning or a shape. But it's just a big butt. Like they've got big butts. What I'm saying is bodybuilding kind of embraced it, but not to the extent.
I guess to the degree of bringing in wellness.
Yes.
Wellness was never a division.
That's right.
And that's been brought in to cater for those incredibly built girls.
Because there isn't, like we know what Kim Kardashian has got, and we know where certain parts of the world and certain
But I wouldn't say bodybuilding is directly correlated with an explosion of big asses at all. Because the
embrace of the ass, but still you think it's Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
She's got a look, man, that's scary sometimes. Alex, I don't know how you do it, man. She just scares me sometimes. That's a better look. That's a nicer look. If only we could have gone with that look through the whole thing. No, don't do that look now. That's scary. All right, we've come to the end. Time for you to promote yourself. Where can we find you? Your TikTok, your Insta, everything. Any sponsors, anyone you want to mention? Troy, mention him again.
Just shout out to those who didn't hear my coach, Team Destroy, Troy Thornton.
All right, yes.
67 Bikinis, who are an incredible sponsor of mine. Stacey, she does, if you're doing any upcoming seasons for IFBB, definitely check them out. My partner and my friends and family.
Oh, you're the first time to ever mention your partner. No,
Oh, well, I wouldn't be here without him or them.
Good old Alex.
Shanae, my opposing coach, she's incredible as well. And then you can find me at Phillipa_Ferreira on Instagram, and then same thing as TikTok.
Well, I want to say...
And you'll see me at Olympia next year or the year after one day, so just keep watching that, and you'll see me on there one day.
I am 100% sure that you will get there. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me and putting up with me.
True.